Torrances are going to take care of the Overlook for us this winter.
I'm outlining a new writing project. 5 months of peace is just what I want.
Are you scared of this place? What about room 237?
Here's Johnny.
Why are you always trying to take over my hosting duties, man? Do you have your red rum ready?
I got all my pictures ready.
Yeah. What is that? A white bread trying to escape your bedroom or something? What the fuck?
Trying to go through a door. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. All work and no play make Whitey a dull bear.
Yeah.
So,
but I got
all
coffee,
right.
So don't worry. You know,
okay,
I'm good. Mm-hmm.
So I got my caffeine. We're here tonight. Mischief Mayhem movie episode 40. God, we've made 40 episodes. Unbelievable.
I know, go us.
I know we're short a few people. Vex is actually traveling. So she is in the land of America, the land of the free, but she's here in spirit. And I do have her trivia to read later. So we have that. And then, of course, thoughts and prayers to the Copa Catania family going through a rough time right now, or had some issues over the weekend. So we'll be praying for them and well wishes and all that good stuff for them, of course. But we do have a show to do, and we have some guests, even a new person for the first time on the show. But
yeah,
let's go ahead and bring on the guests slowly. I'm going to bring on this man who, I don't know what he is. He has a funny accent. He believes in the metric system, and I don't like him, but he's always on the show. And that's the uninspired reviewer.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What's up, sir?
Doing good, and you?
Oh, well, you know, here to talk about a little red rum and get into the horror stuff, man. It's the scary season, so.
Oh yeah, man. Rewatching this, I was like, "What the Jesus, man?"
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag for me. I feel like it's overrated as fuck.
Hey, that's why we're here, buddy. Talk about it while we scrub through it. Yeah, you would be the first person I heard say that, though. But we'll get into that as we go through the movie, of course. And then for our second guest, this is a man who's a great artist, and he loves him some gooch. That is Jay Desolate Soul. What's up, Jay? He's the gooch master.
I don't love gooch.
Wow.
I have gooch, but I don't.
You draw it so well.
Well, that was quite the intro. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back. It's always nice to come in the cannoli home. And I'm here to argue against the uninspired that this movie is top 5 of horror movies of all time.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, we'll definitely get into it as we scrub along. And then, of course, for the first time, have Gooch will travel. Yes. Mm-hmm. Hello to the chat. We'll get to you soon here. But we want to bring on our next guest. First time on the show, but I have been watching his stuff, and it was recommended to him from Vex Electronica. And watch his stuff. Excellent content creator. Glad to have him on the show. He'll be back next week too when we do our next movie. But first time, Mr. Stupenzo. How you doing, sir?
Gentlemen, it's an honor and pleasure to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Excited to be here. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Jay. Like this movie and the next movie, not just some of my favorite horror movies, but some of my favorite movies. Period. Shining, wow. Love it. Learn something new every time you watch it, and maybe it's one of those things where when you watch it 20, 30 times, like I have, you learn to understand it's a fucking masterpiece. Can I curse on this channel? Sorry.
Yes. No. You
can. Whoa! No.
God damn it! What the hell's wrong with you, sir? I'm just kidding.
The thunder of God is gonna go strike Stupenzo.
Yeah, thunder has got Stupenzo. So just so we get a brief synopsis of the movie, it's a 1980 horror film produced and directed by Mr. Stanley Kubrick, co-written by novelist Diane Johnson. It's based off Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name. Jack Nicholson, Danny Lloyd, Shelley Duvall. Shelley Duvall, oof, she's scary.
She's weird looking.
Weird looking woman, man. Yeah. This was before Popeye, wasn't it?
It came out the same year.
Same year.
Wow.
Same
Okay.
year. Yeah.
Maybe that's why she looked like that. And so we're gonna get into this here. So what we do again for all you first time people, pull it up, we scrub through and we just talk and tell Uninspired why he's wrong. So let's start doing that.
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Yeah. We do that a lot with him. It's okay.
The youngins. Just 5 old men yelling at a child, at a young boy.
Yeah. You sick man. So again, I know this is based off a book, so I don't know how many in the panel read the actual book. How many in the chat read the book? I did a long time ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, I read the book a while back too. I read it, I think, like 6 or 7 years ago.
What's up, AJ? Thanks for joining. Vex just recently read the book. Unfortunately, she's not on the, but she did not like the book at all. Hated it. As you will notice when I read her statement at the trivia time, she really didn't like the book and does not like Stephen King. But how do we feel about the opening with the shot of the mountain ranges and the flyover and the ominous music? Whoever wants to go first. Yeah, beautiful shots.
Well, I mean, I know they used a lot of the deleted, unused footage for the happy ending in Blade Runner. But yeah, it just has this idea of like a bird of prey, like swooping down on the car as it's coming down. It's awesome. And the music's just like, we'll talk about the music probably a lot, but the music's amazing. It's freaky.
You guys think that The Shining score is like top 5 of all time, like the movie itself?
No, because it was very Cronenberg and Lynchian in the beginning there. It was a time where the organ, the electronic stuff was starting to come out, and they were fooling around with like sound effects and coming up with weird sounds. Like you got that for Halloween, you got that from Friday the 13th. You kind of got that they were fooling around with sound effects, and you came up with those sounds. So that is very dated, the music.
Sure,
if you want to call it that.
I guess would you still call it iconic though? The theme everybody knows.
Oh yeah,
you hear it. That's The Shining. That's The Shining.
Well, I mean, they used a lot of sounds, from an orchestra and stuff like that.
It's an iconic theme, but it's not an iconic soundtrack in of itself.
No, in general, no, it's not.
No, all the songs were actually pre-recorded. They had several shots at the score made, and the only thing they really kept was some of this electronic music at the beginning and a few other stuff, but like for the most part it's all pre-existing music, which is why it's so freaky how well these shots line up, and whoever the music director was did such a fantastic job like lining up this music with what's physically and actually happening on screen,
right?
What we call Mickey Mousing, which is normally used for animation, cartoon, slapstick, but when you use it for horror, it's so much more effective.
But I want to know. Go ahead, sorry, buddy.
Well, I was just gonna say, for music in the '80s, for horror movies, I mean, like there was no. I mean, Dawkins made a killing off of horror movies with their music, because it was all the heavy metal music. It was all over the place. There were like not many movies had a score. Like I think The Exorcist.
They just left it because it was an extra cost at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, big difference in today.
It was a bunch of sound that was put together at different times and all that to create a creepy feeling, and you got the plucking of violin chords and all that to give the creepy, what people I guess associate with like crawling of a spider or something like that. It's creepy sounds, and they put it together, and I think that was new, and a lot of movies have used that after this. So I don't think it's like one of the greatest at all, but I think it fits.
It suits the movie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got the introduction of Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, which was casted perfectly because Jack Nicholson doesn't have to do anything except look at the camera, and it's just creepy. So it's like perfect casting. And so there's where we get the shot of Shelley Duvall and her wonderful Amish outfit. She's wearing whatever the hell she is, and then with her son Jack. This part, again, I haven't rewatched this in a long time, so I rewatched it this weekend with my family, and I forgot that the setup with the kid and his imaginary friend happened so early, and like literally in the beginning of the movie, just set up what happens later on. But
the first time you see him,
Tony, right? Well, that was the imaginary friend's name was Tony. Yeah.
Yep.
It's also Danny's middle name, Anthony Torrance. Danny Anthony Torrance, and in the book, and in the I never read the book, but I saw the teleplay with Steven Weber and Rebecca De Mornay, who was a babe in that one, but. It's not as good a story when you're it's like very faithful to the book, and I don't know. I feel like it's super inferior because it's like seems like the main crux of the book is this alcoholism. Alcoholism is bad.
Right.
Stephen King was obsessed with like his alcoholism. And that's why he made this book, just like how misery is like a metaphor for his cocaine addiction. And I like how Stanley Kubrick didn't use any of that stuff. And
he hints at stuff, but he doesn't actually. They talk about how he hurt his kid, which we'll get to, which they do hint at the alcohol thing, even at the end or towards the end when he's sitting at the bar. But they don't. I want to know is how do I get that tie right there? Look at that thing. That's a
smart looking dude.
Sexy tie. Look at that.
Going back to Danny, the child actor there, Kubrick did, like throughout that movie, he had no idea it was a horror movie. Kubrick had him play it out. Yeah, had him play it out like he was just having fun, and now you're going to be scared here because there's a monster. Like he treated the kid really, really well throughout this movie. And again, you look at The Exorcist with what's her name?
Oh,
just screwed her up. Linda Blair screwed her up through light. So.
Yeah, Kubrick didn't treat Shelley Duvall very good there in this movie.
Oh no,
it's funny. Everyone said, everyone talks about that, and actually behind the curtains, he actually was very respectful and very encouraging to her. But everyone talks about how he, beat her down, directing. And that was purposeful.
But a great example is Scatman Crothers. He did some scene like 100-something times, because that's just how Stanley Kubrick rolled, And so his follow-up film was a Clint Eastwood movie, and they did something in one take, and he started crying. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy. You're not going to make me do that 130 times like Stanley Kubrick did." And Clint Eastwood was like, "Yeah, chill. It's all right. Don't worry about it."
Jesus, man.
Yeah,
Talk about being traumatized.
Scatman. Scatman was doing Hong Kong Phooey. He wasn't really doing.
Yeah. So we get this introduction into Jack Torrance getting the information from the people who run the hotel. And again, they really make a point to, because he has no idea what he's getting himself into. And he's even kind of warning him like, hey, you're going to be isolated for months, and it can drive people crazy. And what do they tell you about this place and this and that? And then he gets into the whole thing about, 1970. He's doing a writing project.
So in the book and the teleplay, it's very specific. He's working on a play.
Right.
I mean, it's Stephen King too, so he always likes talking about writing or anything storytelling.
Did you say Stephen King?
Yeah.
Stephen King.
It's Stephen
cool.
King.
That's his cool alter ego. Stephen King. He's not
Jackson.
Dude, that's how I say it in France.
I know.
Stephen King.
I'll let you get away with it this time, buddy. I'll let you get away with this time.
Stephen King.
I love his accent. I just give him shit for it, but I love his accent.
I mean, so you guys, since Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, and the kid, they're all iconic. What did you guys think in Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel? The way that other actors portrayed the characters.
It's a really good X-Men movie.
Moment.
Yeah,
Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Spartan Flash, thanks for joining, dude. And Hunty and all you guys in the chat, love you guys. I watched Doctor Sleep like a few years ago, and I didn't know what to expect. It was weird though, seeing this guy playing Jack Torrance, playing Jack Nicholson's character,
E.T. boy.
It just didn't. I don't know, man. Like
that didn't vibe.
I know they can't get Jack Nicholson to do it. They could have CGI'd it. It would have looked like shit.
Yeah.
So
he's like 100 pounds heavier. You know.
Yeah, like it just threw me off. I know what they were going for, but this was like because Stephen King had, if I remember correctly, Dr. Sleep, he was hands on the whole movie. He was like, no, fuck what they did before. Stanley Kubrick did. I'm doing the movie I wanted to make as part of the sequel. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad. I don't know if it's better than this.
Oh, dude, I fucking love Dr. Sleep.
They amped up the horror elements, yeah.
The problem with Dr. Sleep is they tried to make a sequel to both the book and the movie at the same time.
There you go.
But I mean, it still worked. The only issue is that the Dr. Sleep's ending is where the film is at its weakest because
it falls apart.
Yeah, because it's just referencing the Overlook Hotel. Oh, look, we're referencing The Shining and Member Berries, but they're forced to because that's where the script leads them.
Well, that's where it needs to, because you want to please the movie fans, right? Because it's popular, this movies, and then you want to please the people who like the book better. It was a weird mix. I will say there were elements that were good of Dr. Sleep. The girl who played the main villain, what the hell's her name?
Yeah.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson was awesome.
Fantastic. And the part when she's flying around. Yeah, no kidding. When she's flying into
visuals,
visuals were good. There were aspects of it. But getting back to this real quick. So this is where he tells him that the last caretaker basically got insane, axed his family, his 2 kids and the wife, right? And then killed himself with a shotgun. I love how his face is like,
absolutely.
Like, good.
Understandable.
But this is where, like, when you're thinking of this, like, you reflect on this movie after you watch it. Yeah. He's 5 months dry. He's he's probably chomping at the bit to have another drink. Psychologically, he's kind of messed up. And he's probably grasping at anything he can to, keep himself sane and keep his family together at that point, which is like really cool to watch. Yeah. Because when you reflect on it.
Yeah.
What do you mean crazy?
Another huge aspect with like why Stephen King hated Jack Nicholson's casting is because, like, the idea was it's supposed to be a good family man who is driven to the brink because of his alcoholism and the ghosts. Whereas, like in the movie, it's like, there's something dark going on with him beforehand.
The thing is that he's never portrayed as a good person.
Something's off. You know something's off. At this point, obviously,
he's a weak.
Yeah. We get into that with Shelley Duvall and the doctor comes later on, but like that, you start to go, oh, okay, this guy's fucked up. But at this point, it's just Jack Nicholson being Jack. Even his smiles are creepy. The guy's just got that face, man. Like he's perfect for these movies. And he's like, rest assured, that's not going to happen to me. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Willem Dafoe, They both have scary faces.
They just have that face. Yeah. They could act with, And
you could put Christopher Walken in there too.
Yeah.
Even if they're playing a good guy, you're just like the whole time you're like, when's he gonna stab somebody?
Yeah. When is he gonna axe him? And then even here, so this is where Tony, his imaginary friend, starts talking to him. And again, they're setting up this whole thing is where this kid has special abilities, right? He could, God knows who he's talking to. Is he a medium? Is he psychic? Whatever. And the fucking voice with the finger. I think by the end of there was one scene where towards the middle of the movie where the mom's talking to him, I wanted to chop his fucking finger off. That's not the kid's fault. It's just the voice. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was in a bad mood when I was watching them. Yeah, Tony. But it's creepy. But they do set this up, and then Tony shows him an image of was this where the blood comes through? The first image of the blood in the elevator? Yeah. And then he just basically like collapses. Yeah.
It looks great like imagery. Creepy face opening its fucking mouth.
Great imagery. And then he passes out.
More mirrors too. It's like one of the first time you'll see a lot of things with mirrors in this movie.
Yeah.
Now, with that elevator scene, and you can take this for what you want, but it was a full moon when the whole ending happens. Right. And metaphorically, the blood coming through is supposed to be the menstrual cycle of the moon time of like it. So
What?
Is
That's why I went crazy. So
I was about to make a joke about it, but you just kind of proved it. So
This is what happens when you draw gooch photos.
I'm all about the anatomy, bud.
Another
we know.
amazing thing about the elevator scene is obviously, Stanley Kubrick likes to do multiple takes, but he only did that one 3 takes. Wow. But it
Pretty
took
impressive.
9 days to set up each take, and it took
Yeah,
several
that's
months to
why.
get the shot right.
Wow.
Nuts.
Wow. Yeah. So this is the doctor just kind of asking him questions and, was there any
Teddy
flashes
bear.
of light? Did you smell? Yeah. Like it was just a lot of, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I just passed out, and he's playing it off. And then Shelley Duvall, this fucking outfit she's wearing. God damn it. Sign of the times. What's up, Roman? Hey, Melvin. Thanks for dropping in, guys. She's just got a long face and her teeth are huge.
Dude, she has huge eyes.
She's got a. And the doctor's just asking questions about the kid and what's going on with him, and then this is where Shelley Duvall, a character, gets into the her husband moved to Colorado and he was a teacher, and then basically how he came home one night and the kid had papers all over the place and he was drunk and he pulled him up so hard that he dislocated his shoulder, and then that's where he kind of made a commitment to like, okay, I'm gonna fucking change, and this and this.
Yeah,
but this is where you get
up.
like, yeah, this is where you're like, oh, okay, this guy's gonna go to a fucking hotel where somebody acts themselves. He's got the crazy face, the personality, and this now it's kind of setting itself up here. You kind of see where it's gonna go. And then we got the car driving through. Foreshadowing, yeah.
I mean, all of these forest shots, the way that they are specifically shot in The Shining, it's become an absolute staple in any slasher movie nowadays.
Yeah, you're very right. You see it a lot. Yes,
especially in the intros. Like all of these are tracking shots now.
Yeah,
right. Look at that face.
When he's talking about cannibals, the Donner Party.
Yeah.
I did a research paper on the Donner Party, and when I presented it, I gave everyone. I brought a big Dr. Pepper brisket, so everyone was eating brisket sandwiches.
Nice.
I was talking about people eating their own family members. I got it.
Nice. That's always good.
Did you have leftovers?
It's always good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we going to talk about like the impossible architecture of the building?
It's great. Yeah, right.
Because like the outside of the building doesn't match the inside at all. Like obviously.
No.
This is freaky angles, and the inside is all big right angles. But also
turn right and turn right.
It was shot in 2 locations, though, right? It was shot in England and in the U.S.
Yeah,
a lot of
I'm guessing exterior and interior.
Yeah.
Dude, they made a big interior set for the maze, which is like in a lot of shots. It's crazy,
amazing.
And all these light. This is all a movie set, so all the daylight is like huge, giant watt bulbs with diffusion glows outside, producing enormous heat, and they're all dressed for the winter too, so it's like hot as hell in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, they do a great job with these wide shots to show you how big this place is.
Yeah,
and
doesn't match the outside of the building.
Not at all. That's a big fireplace.
So besides the music, there's spatial disorientation and temporal disorientation throughout the whole movie that makes the viewer confused. And it's like adds to the creepiness.
Yeah,
Kubrick.
Things disappear in different scenes, and they can get away with it because freaky deaky ghost mansion,
Another big thing is the lights. The lights it's like in the stereotypical movies where the lights flicker on and off because the ghost, but they flicker between cuts, so the viewer doesn't notice.
You don't even see it.
Different. It's weird.
Right. This is where Danny sees the twins for the first time. That's not fucking creepy. Where you're just
they might be like guests. You might be like daughters.
Yeah.
Of someone there.
Who are
packing
they?
up at this point?
Well,
Like, at this point, you would think that it's like a child's point of view, So they're just trying to show you.
You don't know what. Yeah,
a kid going to a big hotel. He doesn't know anyone there. He's just going alone, so he's probably scared of anything.
Yeah.
Going back to the games room there, Cannoli, that shot where Danny's is playing with the darts. Going back to what you were saying, the film editing and everything, that was like typical 80s where you had a wide shot and then all of a sudden you zoom in. That was so used so much in the early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah.
And SCTV used that a lot in their skits to make fun of it. Like the 3D, like that.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're
shot.
right. That's actually a good point. Love that wallpaper.
Apartment.
Yeah. Such a 70s. Yeah. And he's going through the apartment and he's like, oh, it's cozy.
It definitely is.
Just like, you're like, okay. And then the
And
maid,
they take a
go
lot
talk
of time
about
to set this up too, you know.
Dude,
just
this is all
showing you
yeah.
around.
You don't
It
see that a
takes
lot.
So much time.
You don't see. I was going to say movies back then, and people think this movie is a very slow burn for a lot of people.
Very slow burn.
In a bad way. But I
I
kind of like it. I kind of like it because you want to set up the character, the environment. So when shit does hit the fan, you have a better understanding as to why. It's just like the ballroom. This is the ballroom, which comes into play later on, of course. Yeah, so far so good. And then we get we get this guy.
Dick Halloran.
Scatman.
I like this guy.
Scatman, Hong Kong Fooey.
That's right.
Yeah, there's more impossible architecture going on here because he shows her. They walk in one freezer and walk out of another freezer. Yeah, it's weird.
It's wild. It's a big fucking kitchen.
That's a lot of turkeys, man.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, we got him. He's like, you got basically a year's worth of food. You can live with
300 pounds of 300
a year's
pounds
worth of food for a year's worth of food for 100 people.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I mean,
yeah,
would you guys
see
take the job if it was offered to you?
I could do it, but I wouldn't subject my wife and child to that. And
So
also,
you
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
can maybe by myself. Yeah.
cabin fever is like where you turn against each other.
Well, if you're doing it now, though, it's different. Back then, you didn't have any communication.
Yeah, you don't have internet and stuff.
Give me internet and a fucking gaming system, and I could do YouTube for 24 hours a day. I could play games when I want. I could still interact with people if I have a good internet connection. Like
I had internet and an HEB nearby.
Yeah.
The other piece that they, sorry, Cannoli. The other piece that when they're walking into the hotel, he talks about this is built on an Indian burial ground, and they have
I was going to bring that up because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it's just like then you see Poltergeist after that using the same thing. You see everything after this movie.
Even
is
King, you think Stephen King's doing it again with Pet Cemetery, but he actually this wasn't in the book. The Indian burial ground stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of metaphors towards the Native American genocide.
Didn't he say?
Damn us Indians!
Yeah, didn't he say in this beginning they had to remove some of the burial stuff that were the Indian stuff to make room for the hotel when they built it or something? He mentioned something about
he said that they were being attacked every day by the Indians.
Oh, that's right.
Over an Indian burial ground.
At least they got sweet relish, though. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
But and then he calls him Doc, right? And then the show
Dr. Sleep.
And then she's like, "How do you know we called him Doc?" He's like, "What are you talking about? I must have heard you say it." She's like, and it's Shelley Duvall and her weird acting, like, I never called him Doc. I was like, God, I wanted to strangle her in this movie. I can understand why he chased her with an axe.
She had to take every scene over and over.
I kind of felt bad for her at some point. By the end of it, the one part, we'll get to that part later when she's swinging the bat at him while
she gives one of the best performances ever because of this.
Yeah.
But does she have any other scene performances to compare?
Shelley Duvall, I don't remember what else she was in, to be honest.
Exactly.
Let me give you an example. She had to drink bottles of water because she was so dehydrated from crying. She was running out of tears, physically unable to cry.
Yeah. She was in a lot of indie films, and she was found in the like she did 4 films. She was in a Woody Allen? What's his name? Woody Allen film.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she was she never was an actress. She was just kind of found. A lot of people back in the 70s and 80s were just found and said, "Hey, do you want to be in this movie?
You want to do this?"
Well, they didn't want her to play Wendy because Wendy's supposed to be like a Rebecca De Mornay, like a big, high school cheerleader, busty blonde type, beautiful girl who's never had a hard thing in her life. And Stanley Kubrick really wanted this type of darker featured, sadder looking girl.
It worked.
She was perfect for Olive Oil, though.
She looks like a
She was born to play that
Tim
woman.
Burton cartoon character.
Yeah,
she is an odd bird. She looks like a bird, Roman. Yeah, so this is where he gets the ice cream to the kid. So he has this conversation about
tells him about
why
Shining,
because they're talking to each other through telepathy, right? He's like, "How the fuck?" And so they're going through the whole thing about how his condition's called Shining, and I think it was his grandmother that told him that.
Yeah, his grandmother.
Yeah, the grandmother told him about it, and so they have this very.
Malcolm X. There you go. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this long conversation and. Just talking about what's going on, who's Tony. Then this kid starts asking him, like, "Are you afraid of this place?" And he's like, "Nah, there's nothing bad here." It's just, but again, character development, right? You're getting to know him. He's getting to know the kid. I don't know. I remember a
specific,
buddy of
though.
mine said, a buddy of mine was saying these scenes were too drawn out, but I'm like, I mean,
No.
it's character development. This is what's
It's
missing
the
in
way
movies
that it's
now.
cut. That's
But
the problem. I think it's the editing that's
think the editing's bad?
messing it up. Yeah.
I think
That's Kubrick, though.
A big part about this movie is he's telling him, "Hey, nothing's wrong," and he's like, "What's in room 237?"
Yeah.
Like so
He's like,
specific, and it's like, who told you? God damn you, little telepathic little. No, there's nothing in 237.
Everything's
Vex!
good except for
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
What's up, Vex?
Hey, fellow ninja.
I'm not saying that
What
word.
she's
You
talking
trying to
about,
get
right?
me- trying to get me kicked off YouTube.
You guys all get
Anyway.
the pass from me.
No,
Yeah.
I'm still not taking. Yeah, I'm part Sicilian. I'm still not taking it.
1 month
Yeah, same
later.
here.
1 month later.
Now,
I'm not. That. Yeah. Go ahead.
so the
sorry.
time subtitles are all weird because like the first one is the interview.
It is.
The second one
Yeah.
is closing day, which is actually Halloween, I think, October 30th or October 31st.
Yes.
And then this is like after Thanksgiving. But then after that, when they start listing the days, it's I think people just assume, are we to assume that it's like they're congruent in 1 week? I think there's like there might be huge time gaps between them.
Yeah. I assumed that at first my wife was like, "Oh, were they only there for a week?" And I was like, "It doesn't make any sense though, because I mean, I understand where they are. Like storms can come in and because the location, it could be nice one day, but I was like, it doesn't make any sense though. It had to be over a long period of time.
But
I like this though. I like these shots with the kid riding through and the camera.
That's
following
creepy,
him.
man. I would not be doing that as a kid. That's so creepy.
Yeah.
And they also showcase more impossible architecture because like he drives past elevators, right? And then like he'll go around them and there'll be like doors for hotel rooms. I guess we'll get to that later though.
Yeah, then this guy's just sleeping all the time. He's like, it's 11:30, and then she's making him breakfast and.
Oh yeah, and then they reuse the sound of him going on and off the carpet, the wheels.
Yeah,
actually in
the
sound
wheels.
later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good sound design. Yeah.
I gotta say, waking
like
up at
that.
11:30 with bacon and eggs before you even get up to
Dude.
like pee. Hell yeah!
What a
dude.
day! What a morning! What a way to start the look. He's like, "Ooh, I got some eggs. I'm gonna kill you later, but I got my eggs."
He dips that
What was
little
that on
piece
the
of bacon in
headboard?
the egg.
What was what happened, Whitey?
Some
was that?
Masonic imagery, probably.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the head,
headboard. Yeah.
Probably
Okay.
some Wicker Man stuff.
Yeah.
I like this part with the typewriter too. The shot because it's showing that this is supposed to be his project, right? But it's always
Well,
kind of.
I like how they're developing. I like how they're developing the madness. Like people can say it's
Slow,
but
blind.
it's a slow psyche. You're seeing how it's building up.
So and back to the ball. Like the ball is Jack Nicholson's idea, and it's also like subtle foreshadowing. To the acts. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then this
I
is the
think
maze.
the fact that they also switched to like Monday, Tuesday, and stuff like that after this. Is
Yeah,
like,
they're showing you that just the
also-
tedious. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that the days blend together after a while,
Yeah,
especially
it's
when
not-
you're living in the confines of a
100%.
place that doesn't change. You're never going out. You're never looking at new places.
Same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Also, like they say Monday, Wednesday. There's like I said, nothing to stop that. How do you know that's not 2 weeks apart? You assume it's 2 days apart.
You can't go on certain websites because there's no internet. Like, what do you do for fun?
Nothing.
No gooch to go look at online. I mean,
Yeah, I would bring
But
my drawing book.
I love how they did this shot where he's looking at the maze and then they show the overhead view of them walking. He's looking down on them. This is brilliant to me. It was
I
just
think
a
it's
great
also
way.
the only shot in the movie that wasn't done in camera.
Yes, you are correct. This is great though, just to show you how big this fucking maze is, and which comes into play later. Here we go. Now we're already on Tuesday. See, moving along. There she is cooking away like a good woman in the kitchen. Is Penzo using a proper mic so he can mic drop the stream later? Yes.
No, I just like phalluses. I like to hold the phallic. I just like to just have it in my hand.
We're not. Wow. We're gonna get into that later.
Interesting.
That's for a different. That's for a different stream.
He's gonna be rapping for us later.
Lose yourself in the moment. Again, we get the shot of him riding through, and this is where 237 comes into play, where the door opens here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
No.
He goes to open the door and it's locked. But
Oh, that's
in
right,
the book, In the book, it's room 217, and
Right.
Oh, they
the
changed
hotel asked not to use 217 because people would get creeped out by that.
Also, I
And,
think 217 doesn't sound as scary as 237.
237. You're right.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
also, when you watch this scene, I want you to check out the Mickey Mousing with the music. If you ever get a chance, like how the music just like responds with every movement he's doing. It's freaky.
Interesting.
And yeah, like I said, like the way the doors are too close together, we see the inside of the room later. Like there's no way these doors can be this close. Also, like on the other side of this hallway are elevators on those side of the doors. It makes no sense at all. It's freaky.
It's weird because Stanley Kubrick was like a perfectionist, so I would have thought maybe he wouldn't let something like this slip past.
He's doing it on purpose, for sure, because he is such a perfectionist. And you'll notice later when the lighting stuff later, when the real crazy shit starts happening, it's totally on intentional.
Did Kubrick have his daughter work on this film with him, or just watch and witness?
She made a documentary about it.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of wondering if she was there to.
Might be in the trivia
on
later.
set?
We'll see.
It
Might be in Vex's trivia later. We'll see, buddy.
Oh.
No, I love these shots though, man. It's just again the isolation of these people being just them in the hotel, how big this place is, and it's fucking creepy, man. I don't know. I'm starting to rethink if I would do this alone.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it's great. But he's typing.
You're not scared of the dark.
This is where this is the scene where he starts to snap a little bit, like he's starting to lose it.
Yeah, he insults her.
He does the typical Jack Nicholson thing. He's just
Jack Nicholson literally had this argument with his girlfriend, Angelica Houston,
Really?
I think at the time, and this is why he's drawn from that from reality.
Okay. She's like,
Angelica
"Don't be so
Houston said that he
graphic."
would come home so tired he would walk right into bed, collapse, go straight to sleep.
It's I can see that happening. This is where I kind of felt bad for her because she's trying to say, hey, I'm gonna make lunch or whatever dinner, and he just snaps off, and her face goes from happy to like, oh shit, and he's just like,
she makes him breakfast too, so
and then she walks.
Jesus,
so
man.
I did feel really bad for her in this movie. Like this is why I think she was good casting because she did have this kind of like sorrowful innocence and she's like, what did I do? And because of his past though, with his anger, you always wonder too, like what else happened where she's like, okay, I got to stay away from this guy because all we heard about was what happened with the kid, So she kind of knows that he's got a temper, but I like how he's like, you come here and you interrupt me and I got to start over, start all over again. And I was like, oh god, that's
what
rough,
else does he
man.
say? He's like, even if you don't hear me typing, if I'm in this room, that means
leave me the
I'm
fuck
working.
alone, basically. Like, I was like, oh. And
But
it's
do
just
you
her and
think
the
he's
kid.
like still? Do you think this whole time he's typing all Jack, all play, all work,
Yes.
no play makes Jack? Do you think he's typing it the whole time? Yeah,
I think so.
That's even freakier.
I actually think the whole time because once he arrives, you can tell that something's off. So
Yeah,
and
the
they show
Kubrick
that he's
stare.
someone who gives in to something very
Well,
easily, so he's probably
he
given
even-
into the temptations already,
Yeah, he even says it when she's making breakfast before that scene before. Like he's like, it was like I was here. So again, I didn't catch this the first time, which we'll find out later. But like he says, I felt like I've been here. I knew every time I turned a corner, I knew where everything was. I knew how to get here easily. Like it's like I've been here before, and you're just like, oh. So I didn't catch that. So.
Do you think he had a bit of The Shining in him as well and just didn't realize it?
I think moonshine. Moonshine.
Yeah,
Was,
well, moonshine. Yeah, definitely moonshine.
Maybe he passed it on to the kid. That's why the kid has it.
Yeah.
Somehow. Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah,
I
I would think that he has the shine because the hotel eats people with the shine,
Yes.
and they're slowly eating at Jack Torrance anyways throughout
look-
the entire movie. So I'm
Can
sure
anybody
that
else
that's
pull off
their
a
way,
face?
But
Can anybody-
he's not actually communicating with the Shine, right? So like
He might have
could
a sense.
different. Yeah,
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
He's more sensitive to it a different way.
I think that the hotel, the place itself, was using somebody in a weakened state to help them get the boy. That's what I think.
I think the ghost might not even be
Could be
real,
from it.
and it's literally just cabin fever.
Yes, Vex. I was waiting for you to talk about the color. In the color, what the use of color in the movie.
There's red
she's
used in
right.
every shot, pretty much.
Yeah. Nobody pulls off a face like this better. It's perfect. Like it's just he's staring at them, and I'm like, I was listen, I'm an adult. I've seen this movie before. It's still uneasy watching this because especially when he's panning into him and the music, it's like, oh my god, this is fucking creepy.
I think Vincent D'Onofrio's Kubrick stare in Full Metal Jacket is
that's good. That's good. That is a good point.
White.
In the back of his head, yeah, his lips hanging. It's like, oh yeah.
Go back to that if you don't mind. Like that look. That is the perfect Joker look right there. Like
yeah.
And I think that's why Burton wanted him, because he had that look, that
stare, the eyebrows.
Yeah.
They wanted Robert De Niro, but they thought he wasn't crazy enough, and then they tried Robin Williams, but he was too crazy. And they thought Jack Nicholson
he
was
overboard
like a nice
medium.
It was all the cocaine.
Yeah.
All right. I know Vex is in the chat. Probably she's going to say that the white has the all white has some kind of meaning. I think that was in her trivia too.
Like I said, I think they intentionally darkened up Shelley Duvall's character because she's supposed to be blonde. I really think that's to tie into, like I said, this subversion of the Native American genocide that Stanley Kubrick was. That's all the hotel's all decorated with Native American stuff. Like she's wearing Native American clothing right here.
Right here. Yep. You're right.
It's very it's weird, and that's why she's treated so bad in the movie and on set.
Okay, and, I'm gonna have a real gay moment, but the colors are based. The colors are based on the seasons. So like you saw them more colors, like you saw more of the reds and the browns and everything in the fall. And then the winters, you saw more of the blacks and the whites and the heavier, darker colors.
We don't talk about blacks and whites. This isn't a race war. This isn't a race war. What the fuck, man? No, and then this is where Shelley Duvall learns how to use the radio, which goddamn 1970s fucking tech communication. Oof. Imagine using this shit today.
It would have been crazy getting stuck out there and no.
This is how we would have done YouTube. We would have done click click. Hey, what do you think about this scene? Click click.
This is KDK12. Over. KDK1. What did you think of the creator? Over.
Stepenzo. What do you think of colors? Stepenzo out.
Did you see the gooch? Over.
Yeah. Do you see the anatomy of the gooch? The hole out.
Over. Yeah.
Gooch is live.
And uninspired, we would have been fucked. He's in France. I don't know what the hell they'd be doing over there.
I got that big old ham radio, you know.
yeah. Let me crank this thing. Hold on, cannoli. But yeah, this is again this kid riding this fucking bike, man. Oh, this
dude. If I was a kid, I'd be scared shitless to do this.
Seeing these fucking twins, I don't know. And then he sees them. He gets the image of them being murdered, right? He sees them on the floor.
Yeah, he sees there's a flash of them. Yeah,
axe murdered. The idea, I mean, this is one of those times where the music, like the gong hits like right when he comes around the corner before we see it. And again, like gongs, like that's something I'm not joking. We need to hear way more gongs in horror soundtracks.
Yeah, I agree.
So scary.
Oh, here we go. Here's some Vex.
Gongs or dongs? What are you saying? Gongs or dongs?
Both.
Gongs.
Both. We need both.
Oh, okay.
We need both.
Gongs, dongs, and wongs.
The darker hair was also intentional to pull away from King's interpretation. Which one? Yeah, when we talk. Yeah, didn't we just talk about this?
Yeah.
And bongs. Don't forget bongs.
Bongs. Yeah, bongs.
This kid, man. Okay, let's get past that.
I'm gonna do this gnarly gong rip right now, dude.
Can you imagine seeing that shit as a kid? He's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, dude, I'd be just more scared seeing the twins as a kid rather than their dead bodies.
The Christina Ricci's.
They look like Christina Ricci. Who wants to do the Tony voice?
Stupenzo isn't here, Mrs. Tony. It's like they said, it's just pictures in a book. It can't be
yeah. And I like how they have this TV out in this hallway, and again, just wide shots of everything, man. It's
just to give you that sense of scale.
It's great. They do a great job. And this is where, he's like, I want to go into the room and get the engine, toy engine. She's like, no, Dad just went to sleep. He's like, but Mom, like a fucking every kid does, you know. And, okay, but come right back and be quiet.
Yeah, all that sunlight, like I said, that's all artificial. It's a stage.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. This
is before LED lights when you had to use hot lights with ballasts and stuff.
Him wearing his Mickey Mouse. This part right here,
Mickey Mousing. This scene is one of the best Mickey Mousing too in the whole movie.
He's
the music, the xylophone, even go with like Jack Nicholson's eyes. It's freaky.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy. Look at him. He's just like, you little fucker. No, but this is where he sits him down. He's like, I love you, right? And it is weird. And he's just like, yeah, Dad.
It's the way that he holds him that makes it weird.
Yeah,
it gets weirder later, guys. I mean, I'll tell you.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Vex maybe brought this up or Copa. Like there was some, I don't know if in the book it was like that or there was some insinuations that he might have done some stuff to the kid.
No, yes, Tex-Mex.
Oh, yeah.
Tex-Mexually.
Yeah, very subtle little hints. Yeah.
No, it's. We'll get to
it's
the bear suit. That's the bear suit is literally like almost
Right.
confirmation of that.
I forgot about that. Right. Right. Yeah, this part was just creepy. It's just there's a long scene about talking about the hotel.
And you can really clearly see their dynamic between father and son, and how like even the son fears his father still.
Yeah, look at him. Look at his face.
But he also repeats what the twins told him. You know, forever,
right,
and ever,
and ever.
It's just like Jesus, dude.
Spooky. Danny.
Something terrible is about to happen. You know, and the idea is like, oh, this movie's not really scary. It's like, yeah, I mean, technically, it's only about one guy trying to murder his son and wife with an axe. It's not really that scary, I guess.
There's the Apollo. Hey, I'll see you, Vex. Enjoy the rest of your time. Thank you. Coming in. There's the conspiracy Apollo shirt where they made a whole documentary. Yeah, they made a whole documentary. Did you ever see the documentary Room 237?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm not saying I believe it, but it's interesting.
Another thing that's interesting, you go back to the ball.
Sorry.
Because he's playing with his toys by himself, and the ball rolls like perfectly symmetrical.
Oh yeah, all the way through to the
It took like 50 tries, but what's even better is like when he's when the ball shows up, he's at the tip of the here. If you go back, I guess you can't really see, but if he the maze, the floor pattern switches sides, it reverses when the camera goes from back to forward. He's standing on one side of the shape. He's standing on that angle. And then later, when the camera cuts to the floor behind him, he's standing at the tip facing the door. It's weird.
Oh, wow.
It's all done on purpose, dude. Yeah, see?
Oh, yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Also, the idea, so if you go back, the door next to them, that's another room, and that's super close. But we go in that room later, and we see how it goes way up in there. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
it doesn't make any
weird.
sense. It's freaky.
No.
Good catches. Yeah, I would ever read. Yeah. Do not go in the room, Danny.
The boiler room also was like very heavily featured in the books.
Yes.
And the teleplay, and it's not a thing in the movie. Not a thing in the movie.
Dude, you see it like once or twice. That's it.
This is the only time you see it.
She hears him screaming. She hears Jack, and he's laying there, and he's like, and he's like, you're like, what the fuck is happening here?
He's having a panic attack.
Yeah, he's having a nightmare, and he tells her, like, I had a dream that I killed you and Danny, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's that's basically what
lied a bit, because that's kind of fucked up to say to someone.
Yeah, like
right. Hey, you're gonna die soon.
That's what happens when you go into the walk-in cooler at 2 a.m. and eat too much spicy food. And then you get on an elevator that's having its monthly. I mean,
too much sweet relish. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, and then she's like keeps telling Danny, go back, it's okay, your dad's okay. And then she's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And then he's got marks on his neck, and his shirt's ripped, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? This poor woman's dealing with it from all ends, man. She's got a kid that's got fucking issues. Her husband's a lunatic, and she's like, how do I? Yeah, you feel bad because she's like, how do you? And then she blames him because of his history, right? So, and his face is perfect. She's like, you did this to him.
You got two different colored typewriters.
Were there two different color typewriters?
Well, it was white earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Or beige and all that. Now it's
beige.
Well, it is possible that Jack Torrance did, in fact, cause this infliction on him. It's kind of left ambiguous. It could be the ghost woman, or it could be, the ghost woman's not real,
Right. This is the part when he goes into the bar, right? The ballroom and in the bar scene. Every
time he passes the mirror, he covers his eyes and does a thing because he doesn't want to see himself because he's guilty. He knows what he did to that boy.
Yeah.
His own son.
This part was interesting.
Again, the gold room makes no sense architecturally. It's a fucking gigantic room. Look at this.
Yeah, just like and even just the decoration that they did for the bar is incredible. It just the lighting just makes it stand out so much.
Very good.
Stanley Kubrick, everyone's made it silver, put silver paneling on everything painstakingly, and then he walked in and he's like, we're gonna make it gold. And he had to take everything down. He was a crazy asshole, dude.
Yeah, he's nuts. Fucking genius, but he's nuts. Yeah, this is the Lloyd, the bartender, and he's just give me the white man's burden, Lloyd.
White man's
burden corporation.
And then he's like, I'm a little light. He's like, your money's no good here, or whatever. He's like, how's my credit? And he's like, I like you, Lloyd. This is so fucking creepy, man.
But what's weird is he says 5 months on the wagon, But
yeah,
but it
There
would
it
have
goes.
been 5 months plus a few months. But here's where it even
Right.
says weirder is he says that he did the accident with the boy 3 years ago.
yeah.
So again, there's
yeah.
more like temporal weirdness going on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And everything, a ton of things that he just repeats over and over, like during the conversations that he has with
Yeah.
Lloyd.
The old
Repeats the
sperm
same
bank.
lines, or he'll mirror a line back from him.
yeah. Back,
Yeah.
you see it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I like the old sperm bank upstairs.
Also,
Can't
yeah,
live-
every time
yeah.
he encounters a ghost, there's a mirror involved.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
This is where he's explaining about what he did, and he's
Yeah.
getting pissed off now because she won't let him live it down. And it was an accident. He played this well. Played
Man,
this well.
Stephen King and alcoholism, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and weird sexual stuff. Yeah, Stephen King.
Yeah, yeah. You like you learn he. This is where Vex says he learned what a cream pie was, so that's always nice.
Mm.
Well, again, when he says the
the
white man's
book.
burden, it's it's a shot towards being a white man on an Indian burial.
Indian
ground.
bound,
So it's like,
yep.
yeah. So it's all leads up to the madness that's ensuing.
Curse.
So she comes down with the bat, and she's like, "Yeah, well, Danny told me what happened." So, like 10 minutes ago, she was ready to say, like, he did this, but then she believes the son. So, what changed her mind? What do you guys think? Because they don't really tell you here. They're just like, she just assumes that the kid's telling the truth.
Maybe she's kind of just like in denial that no, he wouldn't do
He would
this
do it again.
Because
Right.
at this point, she's also been isolated for a while. So she's probably
That's
also
true.
going a little bit nuts. And you just want to, like, it's a situation you want to avoid because if he says that he had a dream that he killed both of us, like, man,
Right.
what's stopping him from actually doing it at this point? So
Yeah.
Right.
you want to try and stay with him and bring him back to the way that he was.
Oh, there's
And he
another.
pushed her away. He's pushed her away emotionally and
Yeah.
physically, everything. So
Mm-hmm.
So
she's
she's
at her wit's
secluded
end.
in more ways than one.
Yeah.
She's
Yep.
isolated from him, isolated from reality, like the world. And I like this guy. This guy's in Miami.
Yeah.
He's the head.
Like-
forgot to mention he's the head cook of the place. So the head
Make sure
chef.
you don't
the
show those
pictures-
crazy paintings he's got about it.
Yeah,
The
those are
photos.
awesome paintings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Foxy
like,
Brown.
He's just like he's watching
Oh.
TV. Yeah, no, I'm like, oh, YouTube's gonna
But
hit me.
back-
And then all. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was saying back to Jack in the bar. Another thing that kind of hints that he might be guilty is she tells him there's a crazy woman in one of the rooms and she did it to Danny, and he doesn't react to it. He's like, what room is it? Because he knows
Yeah,
who actually hurt the boy. You know,
that's a good point. That's true. Because any father would be like, wait, hold on, let me go check this out. Who the hell?
let me investigate.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah,
But
This
the
guy's-
hotel's trying to protect itself. That's the
Yeah.
point. I
Yep.
feel like is
maybe.
there's those times where Jack keeps on slipping into these moments where he's talking to a ghost, who's talking about his daughters tried to burn down the place, and so I had to do my duty and and
Yeah,
take
my
care of
wife didn't like it, so I had to take care of her.
it. Right.
care of it,
So
This
But yeah, the
guy's
nudie
shining.
pictures kind of symbolize that this guy is a kind of an everyday man. He's not some kind of super sophisticated telepath or anything.
Mhm.
Right. But
well,
he has
telepaths
to-
can like titties too.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't?
he's getting like
But
an
he-
SOS from Danny
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, really. This part
Don't
was
read
wild.
my mind, Danny. Don't read my
Danny,
mind.
you don't know what I'm doing to Foxy right now, dude. The gooch.
Yeah.
Where's the gooch? Where's the gooch?
I got some cake, Danny. Let me go.
Put your cock away, Scatman. We've got work to do.
Give me 10 minutes, Danny.
My gooch is in action right now.
I need 10 minutes, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, this is where he
Yeah.
goes into the room. In the 237 and the.
Oh, yeah,
I
to
don't
skip
know about-
most of this.
I'm gonna have
Be
to
care-
skip.
be
Yeah, I'm gonna have
careful,
to.
be careful. Yeah.
I know.
But
I know.
if you go back a little bit, he you don't need to go back, but I mean, he kind
I
of the
can go
camera points to the bed, kind of symbolizing like he might have walked in there and passed out, and all this could have
Oh,
been a dream.
yeah, 'cause it's dented in a little bit. Yeah, like somebody was sleeping on it.
It's very, and also like again, more optical illusion patterns everywhere, disorienting. What kind of
Yeah.
bed pattern is that? What kind of floor is that? It's weird.
That's true. That is
chosen
weird.
on purpose to be weird.
I honestly think it's Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, throughout this whole movie, planning and plotting. That's why Danny has this special voice.
So I had to skip through most of that because it's a little nudie. So the woman gets out of the bathtub is like at first like this beautiful woman, and then he's making out with her, and she turns into this fucking old, like, skin's falling off. I was like, oh, come on,
It's freaky.
Well, as a kid, you're like
this.
Bush. You get to see Bush for the first time as a kid.
You
naked
get to see
lady.
Bush.
Well, it's
There you
freaky
go.
because like Stanley Kubrick avoided the tropes of like dark lights. Everything, all the freaky shit is like well lit in the light.
Yeah.
You know, you see it all. It's freaky.
That's very true. Yeah, this is where he's calling the.
Well,
He's
it's
calling
just to highlight the fact that you can't escape. So why would they hide if they know that they can't?
Yeah, you're not
escape?
getting
Victims
anywhere.
can't escape.
So-
Yeah, that's the thing.
He received a message from them. Now he's just trying to check on the family. And then later, when he doesn't get any word from them, he has to do the trip, the arduous journey.
I like how he plays this off. He's just like, yeah, there's nothing there. I don't know. I think he kind of did this to himself. But she's like, what? Like, she's not giving. She just can't believe it.
But it's
Bruce is
also interesting because he kind of puts the blame back on himself by saying there wasn't a crazy old lady.
Yeah. And then, at that point, you think, what the? She would go like, oh, okay, so you did this, But no, it's she knows it's just the explanation just doesn't make any sense.
Something's wrong.
And look at his face, man. He's just, and there he is. This is where he's like, he's got the foam in his mouth, and he's like, he sees the image. Yeah, look at his
That's
face,
exactly how I sleep every night.
Those damn raccoons.
She suggests that they leave, and he fucking snaps on her so hard. Like, this is just like you.
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
How dare
Mommy
you?
and Daddy fighting on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You
know,
fucked up
it's
my
crazy.
life, and you.
You're moving into this apartment, and you have no idea that some point later you're going to be killed in that bathroom. I mean, that was technically the plan, to be killed in that bathroom with an axe. Like, that is horrifying, by your father, by your husband. Like, that is why it's so scary. It's not like a monster in the night. It's your dad.
No. This is where he starts seeing more imagery of like what happened in the past, because he sees the balloons. And I think this is where the ballroom is actually full, right? When he goes in with the people. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because the first time he goes in there, he's light on money. And the second time he goes in there, he's got tins and he's dropping out.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And then that's where he tells him that his money's no good. Yeah.
More little weird shit makes the movie extra creepy.
Stuff's just popping up. Yeah.
It's like a fever dream.
It's one of those movies you got to watch with the volume up and the lights off.
Dude,
and
seriously.
it'll hit you.
Yeah, that's one thing about this movie is that, for the time that it was shot in, and the movies, especially horror movies, during the late 70s and early 80s, how bad the lighting was and just how bad it looked in general. This movie, it really did well.
Stanley Kubrick's a master lighter, man.
Look what he did with. Yeah, look what he did with 2001. I mean,
I mean, look at The Shining here.
Yeah, there you go. Literally, everything's shining.
Bad one, but I do.
Fuck you, Whitey. You're fired. Get
I
know. Go make a gooch picture. We'll let you back in at that point.
Lloyd's face is scary too.
It's
he
creepy.
kind of looks like
Just-
Nosferatu.
Dude, yeah, he's just this one tone. He's always got this little smirk, and his mannerisms are very even. Like, it's just fucking weird, creepy, very creepy.
Hey, he's wearing that same suit from My Cousin Vinny. Uninspired.
That's right. This is where this guy, the supposed waiter, runs into him, spills, and then they go into the bathroom. But then a little bit of this part was again. So I have like I said, I have people who love horror movies. It's just like, okay, this movie's been on for how long? There's an hour left, and what in their mind is like nothing's happened yet.
A lot.
So
So
that's
much
why
has
they don't.
happened.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's these little subtle things. Like, but not everything, to me at least, has to be this out in your face, gory action horror kind of thing. But I don't know, man. And again, use of color, right? There's red because this is where he finds out that the guy murdered his family. The use of color is very important in the scene.
It's December.
Even freakier, the bathroom that he's intending to kill his wife and child in is all white. And this red and white bathroom represents what their bathroom will look like after he is done
with them,
disciplining his children, his son and his wife.
And now I like he's wearing red.
That's right.
Yeah.
Red jacket.
And again, more mirrors too.
Yep.
Advocaat. It's like a cream based eggs and sugar and brandy drink, right?
Yes.
He's
Yes.
like the worst,
Yeah, I didn't
the
know what it
worst
was.
to
I didn't
on you.
know what it was. I had to look it up. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is an average? Yeah. But and then I like how he just keeps pushing him. He's like, yeah, weren't you the guy who was here? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes, yeah, you killed your family.
Yeah, he
right?
really goes up against him. Like
He's really
very
pushing
on
him.
the aggressive side.
Look at his face.
Grady.
He's like, yeah, weren't you the guy, Mr.
I know that
Grady?
name Grady.
So I have a
Well,
question for you
he
guys. When
wants
you're
to make
watching this,
Grady feel guilty. You know,
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think he was saying he was dried out up to this point, but was secretly drinking without the
Like
wife
before
knowing
this?
oh,
before
possible.
before this?
Probably.
And he's drying out. He's going through the psyche of like, not having any alcohol. He's
Yeah, it's
going through
affecting him, yeah.
withdrawals. It's everything. There's so many options that you could have with this.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
makes this movie so great.
Yeah.
I know in the book telecast version, like the idea is when she goes and sees him, the bar is fully stocked suddenly, and she sees that with her eyes. That's very disturbing to her. But like,
Okay.
like I said, the alcoholism was like the number one metaphor in the book. It's so
Yeah,
on the nose. On
This
the
is a good
nose.
point. Like a lot of the gore porn, I think is what he meant to say. Like, yeah, I know what he meant to say. It's like, it's different. Horror movies are just again, it's the reason why I don't love the genre is because of the over the top, gory. Like I like
gore porn too. I like it all.
I like it. It has its place, definitely. But I don't
Raised
know,
on
like,
Tales from the Crypt, buddy. I love that shit.
I love Tales from the Crypt.
Oh,
Dusk
yeah.
Till Dawn.
That's a
Great show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Great
oh
show.
yeah.
Tales from the
Love
Dark
it.
Side, like all
Right up
that
my
stuff.
alley.
Is, yeah,
Right,
But
but it had so much more story. I felt like
it's a little more. It's a little deeper. Like it wasn't just, hey, I'm gonna just start slicing people.
Well, all the
just for hell
Kubrick
of it.
movies are ambiguous, and this is no
Yeah.
exception. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah.
And
It's
I think
funny.
it's only the second Stephen King movie, right?
I think
Carrie?
third actually.
Okay.
Was this?
Yeah.
Was this? Yeah, this was before Cujo, right? Way before Cujo, right?
Oh yeah, Cujo was. I think
Was it in the
This
80s?
Carrie was the
90
first.
This was
Carrie was the
1980.
first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're remaking
Um,
Carrie, by the way.
Oh, I lost my train. of
Again?
thought. Damn it.
Yeah, they're remaking
Yeah.
Carrie, and then
Yeah.
Christine too. They're remaking.
What?
And the
I know
Office.
that they even just made Pet Cemetery a new one. I think it's called
That was
Pet
terrible.
Cemetery Bloodlines. or
Yeah, I
something.
didn't like it. It was terrible. Wasn't good. What am I saying? I'm fucking lost my train. Oh, this is where he keeps pushing him. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's funny because like if people are gonna pick this movie apart because of the slow build, and you see how the psychological craziness that's happening throughout the time period that he's there, but yet you watch Blair Witch Project, it's pretty much the same thing. Nothing's really happening, and you're getting invested in the movie because you're like involved in it. You're watching everything happen in front of you. You're invested. That's what makes this movie great, because you're invested with this character.
Yeah, and you're always you want to see what's going to happen next, right? You want to see what's going to go. Like, Blair Witch did that, where you didn't see what was going on, but it was the sights, the sounds, little things that were creepy.
It let your mind do it. It let your mind take off.
Right.
And it's the same thing with this one.
I still think the Blair Witch holds up. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it's still a pretty good movie.
Love it.
Considering, yeah, really good.
That was another movie where you're pushing the actors to the boundaries. I love it when you treat actors like props and you just tell them what to do.
Just see how far I can get.
Tell them what to eat and drink.
At this point, it's like they wouldn't be acting; they'd just be doing it in real life.
Yeah. This is just a lot of dialogue here of just them.
I
going
don't think
back
we
and
could
forth.
talk about Blair Witch as much as densely as we could about this movie. I could talk about this movie for hours and hours and hours.
Because
so
there's a
much
lot of
going on,
details.
even though there's not a lot going on surface level wise.
Yeah. This just keeps going and going. And he finally breaks him and he's telling him about what happened. And he's like, well, then he's telling him, hey, your boy has a special ability. And he's called the head. What the fuck was the guy's name? The head chef guy again?
The N-word.
He calls him the N-word.
No, he didn't call him the N-word. Well, maybe you want to call him the N-word.
No, he did call him it.
Yeah, he called him the N-word.
Yeah. He's like, that guy.
White man's
chicken.
burden, Lloyd.
He's
White
asked
man's
for outside
burden.
help.
Yeah. So yeah, so he's basically telling them like, hey, I took care of my family. So I think it's time you do the same. And you can tell there's an overhead light on her right here. I'd never even noticed that. She's smoking. She's going crazy. She doesn't know what's going on. And this is where the kid wakes up saying red rum. Fucking creepy, man. And the way he just keeps it, rah. I was like, oh my god, man.
The kid
His
is
face,
officially
too.
psychotically broken, and he's no longer Danny.
Yeah.
He's now only responding as Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Torrance. Go ahead, buddy.
And like I said in the book in the telecast, like Tony's like himself from the future, like Dr. Sleep, who's like his little Jiminy Cricket, and he's clearly his friend. Whereas in this one, it's like, no, I don't think Tony's might be, malevolent.
I mean,
who knows?
Tony, I don't think that he's malevolent. I just think that he's in it for himself.
Right.
But like he wouldn't do anything bad. So for example, didn't want to go to the Overlook Hotel because he knows that he'd probably get eaten,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's ambiguous, You don't know. What is
dark
Tony?
rum, red rum?
Poor kid
Yeah,
taken
Zach's-
over by like Italians. Danny, Tony,
Tony. Hey.
yeah. Francesca,
Sorry, Mrs. Torrance. Hey,
Tony isn't here, Mrs. Torrance.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony needs.
Yeah, Danny's being made right now in the family.
We'll be right back, Mrs. T.
family.
Back
Take care of
face.
your
What's up?
family.
Doc Sleep
Yes.
compared to this is such a ridiculous down. Oh,
Yes,
nah.
absolutely.
I
Yes,
love Doctor
yes.
Sleep.
Yeah, well, like I
See?
said, Dr. Sleep is a good X-Men movie.
Thank you,
Bakeface.
Bakeface.
I think it's fun.
The gabagool.
Gabagool.
The Gabagool, yeah. Anytime I get to hang out with other large, hairy Italian dudes, I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
all
It's
for
great.
it.
Yeah,
Molto
this part is
bene.
creepy. Danny's gone away, Mrs. Torrance. And then there's Jack just walking through the halls.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this
like
is where
the
he
song
takes he takes the
radio.
basically
Yeah.
takes the parts out of the radio so she can't make
Disables the
calls
radio.
out.
Also, that
Yeah.
window makes no sense in that office.
Let me see,
There
let me go
should be a
back. Oh, yeah.
hallway behind that office, but instead there's a window that leads outside.
Oh yeah.
More weird
Maybe-
shit.
Fucking Kubrick, man.
And that is from the very beginning of the movie. You see that office. It
That's
doesn't
right.
make any
Yeah, when he's
sense.
talking to him. Yeah. Yeah. Is this where he decides? Yeah, he's like, I can't. He can. Oh yeah, because he was telling the power might be out
Check on
because
him.
of his. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's like, fucking, I'm
We
flying
haven't
from
got-
Miami.
We haven't gotten a hold of him.
Dude, you gotta get a Dick Halloran on your team, bro. Look, he's a ride or die.
Look, he's like, oh, I'm the only.
He
I'm
literally
the only
just took a plane.
dude. And he's like, I'm the only colored person in this area. Shit. Oh, this poor guy. No, this is again. Here's that shot from behind. Is this where he's typing like crazy?
See, this is interesting too, because in the prior scenes, the fireplace was behind the staircase, and
Now
then
it's
when you
off.
go back to it's off to the side.
Yeah.
Also,
go
when he
back. Oh,
when he pulls that sheet out, ring. There's that
Ring.
string sting. It's so
Mhm.
good. All that stuff.
Yeah, this is when he gets to the airport. Oh no, yeah, he calls Tony Burt. He calls Apollo Creed's trainer.
Yeah, he's gonna train.
Did you hear this chess story about this guy?
No.
This guy brought a chessboard. I think it was this actor. He only had one day of shooting, right? He brought a chessboard on set, hoping to play with Stanley Kubrick. And Stanley Kubrick saw the chessboard that he had brought, and even though they were behind schedule, he decided to still call off shooting early, and they just like spent all day playing chess.
Tony
Wow.
Burton.
Fun.
Tony Burton, man. Tony Burton's a badass.
Tony Burton.
Throw the damn towel.
He's a boxer, football player.
Wow, he's done a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where he calls him, and he's basically saying, "Hey, I'm here.
That's
I'll
the
be. I
best
can,
excuse.
yeah,
me
I'm
up.
gonna. You get me a snow cat, boy.
I have the tiger. I have the tiger. There is no tomorrow. There is no
Stop
tomorrow.
training. Stop training Rocky in the fucking mountains. Let's go."
He's like, why do you need to drive up there? He's like, man, it turns out the guys they hired turned out to be totally unreliable assholes. I gotta go up there and clean up the mess.
Clean up. Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, it was
Oh,
great.
shit.
The Torrance.
Also showing the overturned semi truck. He's risking his life
Yeah.
to go out there and make this trip.
Get
Yeah.
up there.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's watching cartoon. Was he watching Looney Tunes? Remember, because he say he loves Looney
Roadrunner?
Tunes. Roadrunner. Oh, was it Roadrunner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lousy
What you
Starbucks.
What you don't know about at this movie is that Danny gets secondhand asthma from this after this movie because she's smoking in front of him. all
Oh
the
no
time.
shit, man! Secondhand smoke.
It's that secondhand
cigarette
smoke just
ash falling in his Fruit Loops.
killing him.
Oh, don't mind that.
Okay, Mrs. Tar. Yeah, so she's going to look for Jack. I like how she has the bat. And
She's not even menacing when she's walking. She's just absolutely
no, she's
terrified of
frail
him.
and
Oh, she's rubbery. She's like
Yeah.
she looks like she's just like one of those wind.
yeah, it's gonna blow her over.
it'll
Yeah.
blow her.
This is where we get the great build up here where he's just typing the same shit over and over, and you're like, what the fuck? And I was kind of like you. I was like, well, was this the whole time? There's no way, right? Where then she looks over at his work, and it's the same thing over, and all the
About
pages.
400 pages.
And she's going. I mean,
copy and paste was available.
they make you feel she's got. They spent a lot of time with her going through
Yeah.
the fucking pages, and because they want you to feel that tension. You're like, oh shit. And this is
Also,
where you
imagine the
find-
guy who had to make those, and all the formatting on different pages.
not like
It's all
today.
cool.
You can just
Well,
copy
what
it.
was she expecting to find as she went through the pages? Like, suddenly get to one page and it says 8008S. Oh, it says boobs.
Boobs. Yeah, this is it. I want to talk to you. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Again, more great Mickey Mousing right there.
Yep.
Yeah, when he
look at
like
his
he
face.
smiles and he hits the thing, it's like there's stings on every gesture he does,
And
it's crazy because all the music was pre-written. That's so weird.
The kid's starting to get that look again, like, oh shit. And he sees the fucking elevator blood again. It's like,
Elevator
oh.
face.
What? This is where is this where she says she wants to take him away to a doctor?
Yeah,
and he's like,
Yeah.
you think maybe he should be? You think maybe he should be taken to a doctor?
Yeah, he just keeps on repeating her.
He's just
you know,
mimicking her. It's
yeah.
so fucking good. His face as soon as possible. Oh god!
Shut your
Look
face,
at Nicholson.
olive oil.
Yeah, look at
Nicholson. He's just a master at class actor. Like all the faces he makes, like it's just
classic.
I mean,
doesn't
one
get
thing
much-
that I find really weird is that they didn't give him any redeemable factors or redeemable qualities at all throughout the entire film,
Yeah.
He's evil from the get-go, and
just
in
an asshole,
the end,
yeah.
he just stays evil. They didn't give him anything to just maybe give him
That's
like
awesome.
a spark of hope of anything like that.
Well,
That's awesome.
That's the whole point of the movie, though. It's like there is no hope. It's like he is who he is. They're in this location, and there is like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, like for the time that this movie came out, I think that's like a really, really bold choice to go completely, somber like that.
yeah,
So cold.
Yeah.
If you
There's
watch
too
the
many
Steven
villains.
Weber version, it's so much more what you're describing. A good man corrupted,
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. Well, there's too many movies nowadays where they make the villain like a victim of something.
Right,
And
right.
it's just this is why I love this movie. It's just pure evil. Like he just
Yeah. I like how
goes
she
off the
just
rails.
keeps swinging the bat at him like
Yeah.
you're like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, he could literally just grab it with one arm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just following her up
It
the
would be
stairs
over.
slowly.
I mean, Guinness Book of World Records said they shot the scene like 100-something times, but the director of photography said we shot it like 35 times, but still, that's a lot of
That's a
times.
lot.
Think about all the
Yeah.
celluloid you wasted.
Yeah.
on your film.
yeah. I just like this. Wendy, I'm not gonna kill you.
I'm not going to
I'm
hurt
just
you.
Yeah, it's gonna bash your brain. Don't hurt me.
choke
It's
up
like,
the bat. Choke up.
Yeah, I
Choke
was
up
like,
in
choke
the bat
up.
more. Choke up in the bat more.
swing away. Stop swinging the bat, Wendy. And she gets him good though. Look at his. He puts his tongue out. He's like, what the fuck, man? Give me the
Right in
bat.
the cranium.
He got
But
fucking
she gives him the
jacked.
bat.
Yeah. He gets his ass kicked. I like how she drags him into. She's trying to drag him into the food storage container, or the closet,
Pantry?
because that's pantry.
Who
That's
knows how
pretty
long it's been out?
impressive.
Probably less than an hour or so. An hour, maybe.
Pretty
Tops.
impressive because she doesn't look like she can weighs much. She's very strong. She dragged his
Probably
ass
like
3
30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
He's like,
He
pretty
fell
smooth,
down
though.
those stairs for the most part. So.
that's true. I like how she's like, what are you? He's like, what are you doing? She's like, fuck you.
Oh, dude, I'd
Yeah.
stomp his face if he woke up. I'll just be like,
Yeah,
"Go
really.
back to sleep."
I'm gonna go now. And she's like,
But it's also your
explains-
husband. You could be saying he's sick from the cabin fever. It's something that he's
Yeah,
not
but
well.
I mean, if you leave him, he'll just attack you and he'll kill you. I'd
Later,
rather
Corey.
just, disable him.
Now, I will say, like, if you take at the first third of the film, they were here in the walk-in cooler, or in the walk-in. The last
walk-in
third of the
pantry.
film, they're back in the cooler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
That's pretty damn
That's a
good.
damn shot. That's a damn good. I agree.
Yeah.
with
I
you,
do.
Chase. That's
I
an
like how they
incredible
filmed
shot.
it. I like how he filmed this. Yeah.
I love the shots in this, the angles,
Mhm.
just the.
I'll forget the whole thing. Like that's gonna let get. And he tries to pretend like he's
Yeah.
Come on,
Hurt
hurt.
my head.
I need a doctor.
Dizzy.
And she's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go now. And she's
I'm gonna
telling
go
him
get.
everything.
I'm gonna get help with the sidewinder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look at his
I'm
face.
gonna go get some
Good luck.
spinach.
Good luck with
Good
that.
day.
Check it out.
You're not going any. Oh, because he tells her that he took he destroyed
Took
the
out the radio and the snow cat.
radio. She's like, no. He's like, ha. It's fucking great. She got a knife now, though. So she got a better weapon. Look at these shots, man.
I mean,
So
better weapon.
totally
knife.
white out snow, right? And then when she goes in the garage, like the sun is clearly out, shining through the windows. It's weird.
Yeah.
So she's
Aliens,
stable.
man.
Aliens, man. So she's basically fucked here. She's fucked. Yeah.
We only got 3 lights out, but then when we go inside the interior, the lights, like, first of all, why are all the lights on in this building all the time anyway? So many
Are you
questions
a
about the
dad or
lighting.
something?
Save that electric.
Are you a dad?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
lights
you know.
on, kids. Why are these damn lights on?
Who touched the thermostat?
Electricity up in here.
Who touched the thermostat?
Why is the
If I
light
was
on
the
in the
owner-
kitchen?
If I was the owner of the hotel and I had groundskeeper moving in, I'd be like, by the way, it's going to be pitch black in most of our hotel. So turn on the lights only when you need them. Please do not rack up the power bill. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, I like how
Okay,
we
so
call
this part
Yeah,
right
no.
here, like he's actually locked inside and then he gets out. So your guys' thoughts on how this actually happened?
Oh, with the ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the
I
only
think
real
he probably
supernatural
broke
part of
down
the
the
movie.
door.
It might have been Danny in a state of like stupor, you know? I don't know. Who knows? Or a ghost. Could have been the ghost of Grady.
Yeah, or it could have
Grady
actually
ghost.
just been a ghost that did it.
Yeah,
There is
they have
that
this-
possibility.
He's like, we don't think you can handle this. Your wife's stronger than. And he's like, let me out of here, and I'll prove myself, you know. And
Or
then,
Calumet baking powder.
there you go,
Yeah, like-
sliced peaches, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Heinz.
Oh, I love when she's making that food earlier and she's using that giant tin of peaches because it's like
It's
you can make
huge.
whatever you want, but like everything we hear is made for volume. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna make a
Right,
shepherd
right.
pie or something, it's gonna be a huge ass shepherd pie. So just
You like peaches? You want a size 10 can? Of
Yeah.
peaches? Yeah.
Have you see the size of our ovens? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a long conversation. Yeah, he's like, I'll give you my word. I'll take care of them this time. Don't worry. And then, yeah, this is the. He's got his machine here, and he's getting through the snow pretty good.
Dude, they should play the A-Team theme every time they show Dick Halloran just on his way there.
Red rum.
Yeah, this
So-
is where he keeps repeating it. Yeah.
Like Adam said, this movie could have been avoided if she just like locked his ass in the freezer,
Mm-hmm.
killed
Yeah.
him, but still that would have been end of the movie right there.
And then the movie right there. Yeah, you lose the last half hour of the movie. This is fucking creepy. Right.
Yeah.
He just keeps saying it and saying it, and
And more mirrors, backwards words and mirrors, and it's all throughout the movie.
yep. He takes her lipstick, right, and he writes it on the door. Yeah.
And
Fucking
yeah,
weird.
I love how he
many
wakes
times
up.
did you do that?
No.
Red rum. And then he starts screaming it even louder. Is it red rum?
Yeah.
She wakes up like, what? And then she grabs a knife and almost stabs him with it by accident. And then
But that is the
where
first thing you do. You wake up, you see the knife, you just grab that out of your hand. I don't know what
Oh,
you're doing
yeah,
with that kid, but no.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. And then she sees that in like you said in the mirror, she sees what he wrote. It's murder, obviously. And then this is where he goes fucking crazy and starts, chopping down the fucking door. Wendy,
Back to the ball.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
Again, more impossible architecture. You know, we
Yeah.
see that the bed faces the window, and then the bathroom is behind the bed, and that window's there, meaning that room should be on a corner. But when we cut
yep.
out to the outside, it's like
on the
clearly in the
side,
middle
yeah.
of the building.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, very weird. I like how and then, by the way, he hurt his foot when he slipped down the stairs, so he's like hobbling as he's trying to
Jeez.
catch up to them. But yeah, this part, like she's like, I see some
honestly-
room
no,
here.
she can fucking fit.
I see some room here on the side.
Yeah.
She's like 22 pounds. She can get through
Yeah.
that fucking.
She
window.
just
If
needed to
anyone
push
can
the
fit through
snow
that
to the
tiny
side.
window, that human
her.
skeleton lady sure can.
Hey,
Yeah. It's
there's
seriously.
a scene they use nowadays in the adult films movies. They use that.
Whoa, I'm sorry, stepbrother. I'm stuck in the
I'm
window
stuck in
again.
the window. Yeah.
Show me
What
the
are you-
gooch woman.
God. What are you doing, step bro?
Stop it! Can you please
The West
help
has
me out of here?
fallen.
It is. It has.
I'm joking.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Yeah. I like how she's begging him, like, please stop. Like he's not stop. This is again the classic
Here's
shot.
Johnny.
Iconic.
Yeah, how many doors did they have to like screw in there and break? Like
Yeah.
several dozens. But he was an actual trained fire
Yeah.
department guy, so
Yeah.
firefighter. So he was like able to chop through these fake play doors very easily. So they had to use like real doors.
And this is
that's
actually
pretty
what it looks
interesting.
like when a tree ant gives birth.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, here's Johnny. It's such a funny line, I guess, but like it's so scary to know that this is what your father's going to say to you before he hacks you up
Before
in
he
pieces with an
chops
axe.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary, dude.
And her faces are just priceless.
This is happening.
Yeah.
This is happening. Your
Yeah,
husband's
like,
about to kill you. This
he's
is
trying
real.
to
Wasn't she up for hours and hours on end to enhance
sleep
the
deprived.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went through it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
She went through it for this movie.
But
Yeah,
everyone
you just-
commended her for her
Oh,
performance.
for doing it, yeah.
She had her Raspberry nomination rescinded after the fact.
Yeah, she gets him away by cutting. And now, okay, so she tries to unlock the door, right? It's like, wouldn't you look through the door, and if he was locked, just reach through it on the other side, just unlock the door that way? Little things like that. I was just like, whatever. She's probably panicking, like she doesn't know what the hell she's doing at this point. Her husband's trying to
she's
catch
not-
her.
She cuts
She's
his
not
hand,
thinking
and Jack
straight.
Nicholson doesn't like that at all. Oh,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know if this can hurt me. It's not
Dude,
fair.
he
I'm
acts
supposed to
like
kill
a
you.
devil who's been sprayed with holy water. It's like Jesus.
Okay, so
Yeah.
more freaky lighting. He walks through the corridor, right, and keep going. Like the stairwell is lit. All right, and you keep going, and we see the lobby. Keep going, or I guess back a ways, but like you'll see like this light above his head is on in the previous shot, and all the wall torches are on in this shot. When he rears around the corner, all the wall torches are on.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Scatman Crothers walks into this room, all the wall torches are off, and the stairwell light is also off.
It's gone.
This is,
Yeah.
like I said, in between takes, like cuts, so that's why it's super
Little
freaky.
things. Yeah. This is where he gets chopped in the chest, right? This is where he catches him.
Dude,
Poor
this
guy,
is
man.
this is such a stupid death, and it's probably avoidable if he was just a bit faster. Like, come on, man! Even just raising your two arms in the air would have prevented, like your
Right.
death.
Dick and Danny scream out that.
But he's also an old man.
That
I mean,
sentence
come
doesn't
on.
go well together.
Yeah, Dick and Danny scream.
Yeah, YouTube. That's not me. Yeah, you're right. It was weird. I'll admit, some people felt it was like just the way they killed him was strange. But
Well, I mean,
Well, he doesn't die in the
like,
book either.
No, he
in a
doesn't.
from a storytelling point of view, what are you doing with this character? Like, what payoff are you actually giving to the audience with this character that you've set up? You've continuously stayed with and shown the progression all the way to
Right.
come to the final act, just to get chopped in like a one blow.
So I've
He
heard
doesn't
it's
do
more.
jack
I've
shit
heard
heroically.
I've heard it's more
Well, no.
reinforcement of the Native American thing, because Scatman Crothers is kind
yeah.
of portrayed as this like Indian chief. He's constantly framed with the Calumet baking powder in the frame with him. He's a telekinetic, like spiritual person,
Right.
and the
Right.
fact that he's killed off, and he was also one of the only other actors besides Shelley Duvall to be treated so poorly on set. It's more like, I don't know. Stanley Kubrick is making his own movie. You know what I mean? He doesn't give a shit. Whatever.
he's doing his thing.
He's doing his
Yeah.
thing.
No, no.
You get to see Jack go off the deep end. He finally just is now in a bloody rage. No pun
Yeah.
intended.
Yeah, this is what people. There's a lot of people feel this way. That you get this guy to come do all this
Yeah.
stuff in the movie and
Yeah.
just to die real
Yeah.
quick, which I get.
Yeah,
It.
it's great.
It's
great.
Hey, Flaccid, what's up, Sheep King? You're not the first person to say that. Actually, Uninspired Reviewer kind of agrees with you. And we'll get into that.
I don't believe that. I'm not a big fan of like the whole subvert your expectations, but imagine you get this character, and how many people probably thought he'd be the one to come in there and save the day.
Save everybody. Yeah,
And
and
He
he
kind
dies
of kicks
really
Danny
quick.
in the
I
gear
don't-
that he has to save his family or save himself because
Right.
help's not
right.
coming anymore.
It's not what I
No.
would have preferred, but I mean, it definitely shocked me that I was like, well, shit, dude, and
Right.
but that he was a black guy in that film in the '80s. He had to die. He had
But
it.
yeah, the bear scene is probably the scene I could talk about
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
most.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Um,
Yeah, Brent, go ahead.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
like you were saying earlier, the bear in the book, the
The
bear
kid.
was supposed to be a guy in a dog costume, and the idea is the owner of the hotel is getting fellatiated by. It's one of the few things that's actually in the book, but they changed it to a bear costume. Now,
Right.
I think, like you said earlier, this is the big cue that Jack may have Lestered his son as well as physically abused him, because You have to see, like, throughout the movie, Danny is peppered with teddy bears. There's a teddy bear hanging over his room in the apartment. He wears a big teddy bear sweater. He sleeps next to a teddy bear pillow. He represents the teddy bear. And even this shot, when you cut back to the past 10 seconds, the shot of the bear hanging off the frame behind the door frame, that is mimicked earlier with the bathroom shot when Danny's brushing his teeth.
Right.
And Shelley Duvall feels so hopeless here because this is like her coming to the terms with this thing happened and she couldn't do anything about it. She was powerless about it. And also the old hag represents the fact that Jack Torrance is not attracted to his own wife. Like he has a dream where a beautiful woman comes to him and he approaches her and he tries to make love to her and he's repulsed by her. And it's more like this idea that like he did this horrible, horrible thing to his own son.
Wow. Yeah.
Super creepy. And also even earlier when he first gets the job, when his family first moves in, I have a picture here. He's reading a Playgirl magazine when he's sitting on this chair. Now, if you see, I'll share my screen if you want.
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
Let's see here. Let me share this entire screen here. Now, what's even crazier, he's reading a Playgirl magazine. He's reading a magazine, and they say, "Hey, come on, let me show you around." He puts the magazine down. It's clearly a Playgirl magazine. Now, what's even freakier is on the cover of this magazine is an article about incest. Why parents sleep with their children. Super freaky shit, dude. Super freaky shit.
Yeah, that's why people have that. Yeah, that like I said, that interpretation that was insinuated, and that you're right. Here you go. Blow your mind, man. We're here to blow people's minds.
Yeah, it's super free. It's the scariest part of the movie. The scariest part of the movie.
I never noticed that with the Playgirl thing. I never caught that.
A lot of people didn't, and it's Rob Ager. Rob Ager's the one I watched his video about it. You know, back in the day, that guy's
breaking
genius,
it down.
dude.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Holy shit!
I love that shit. I love those theories. That's awesome.
Transformative analysis. You know, you can watch a movie. 5 different guys can have 15 different versions of what this movie's about. Yeah.
That's wild. Is this where? Yeah, he turns the lights on outside and he goes out and chases him through the maze.
To the haunting music too.
Well, that makes more sense. That's why he's chasing Danny more than the wife.
Danny.
He knows. Well, he also has the gift, right? So he can.
Yeah.
Well, but it also puts everything to perspective. Like, like that's his little. Oh, this is gonna sound bad, but love toy. And he's attached to this child like in so many ways.
This guy makes one Gooch anatomy photo, and he's talking about love toy.
But also, I saw that Gooch picture, by the way, on Twitter.
It's great. It's a great photo.
And I agree. That's exactly what the Gooch is. The Gooch and the taint and all those things are different parts.
The Gooch,
right? It's anatomy class.
And the chode is the space between the under your dick and between the balls, right?
There you go.
Yep. There you go.
So, but yeah, what's crazy is the book was supposed to have like hedge animals that come to life.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
The maze is such an improvement.
That was the ABC movie version, and that was horrible.
It wouldn't have made it.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Well, they cut that for budget reasons, but also because, like, it's going to be weird.
It wouldn't have fit.
It's not ambiguous. You know, the hedge animals coming to life.
Some things just don't work in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, her face is, again, this is where she sees the dead person on the floor.
More freaky lighting. When she walks in the hallway, the lights that the ghost is standing under is totally dark. Then she sees Scatman Crothers and turns around, and now the ghost is standing there totally illuminated. Light turned on between cuts.
Wild.
Also, the freaky Native American music when she finds the body.
The
drums rattling. Ugh.
Yeah, look, and then she starts to see the hotel's changing. It's showing
all the lights off and cobwebs. That's Grady right there standing up with his avocado.
Yeah, that wouldn't scare me or anything. No,
man, Poltergeist ripped a lot from this.
Right.
100%. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of nods. Yeah, totally.
And I like how the kid's smart enough to backtrack, right? He's stepping backwards to throw off.
Dude, at that age, I would probably have been dead, to be honest.
This is an old Native American trick to cover your tracks, too, that he does. Weird.
Never mind, as a kid, also, I'd be dead now.
The snow was made out of like a bunch of, what was it, fake... I can't remember what it was. It sounded expensive. Yeah, salt.
It was salt. Salt. Yeah, salt.
Styrofoam and salt. Yeah, sounds expensive as hell.
This is where she sees the elevator blood, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where we get the famous elevator blood scene.
People argue about there's like a body that falls out of there or something.
No.
They see
I-
something
no.
fall out of there.
it's
If it's
funny you say that
anything, it's a
'cause-
Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah,
Could
yeah.
you
Oh
imagine
no,
having-
Mr. Kool-Aid.
Oh no!
Oh no, Mr. Kool-Aid. You just poked on my door. My dad's gonna whip my ass now. You go fix that wall.
Is it a full moon, Mr. Kool-Aid? Is that what's going on?
Oh shit.
God.
Yeah, poor Dan. Yeah, he's just lost. He can't track him anymore. He's covering his tracks with it. Nicholson's
I love this. This is my
Yeah.
favorite. Jack is just like a brilliant actor. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else maybe Walking Phoenix, but I don't think anyone else
He
could
plays
capture
crazy
this.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
you hear how like Chevy Chase tried to be in this movie, and they wanted Robert.
Oh.
De Niro. How
Chevy
different
Chase. Holiday Roll.
I think he's psychotic enough to do it. I think he could have done something.
I mean,
I mean, I like it when
Niro's
comedians
probably done
do
something.
dramatic branches. I love that stuff, but I don't know.
I don't think De Niro was at that level yet. Taxi Driver was what year?
Well, I
70s?
mean, hadn't he made Mary Shelley's
Taxi Driver was before.
Frankenstein?
Yeah, but he did like Cape Fear. He played a good psychotic.
Yeah,
De Niro.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cape Fear was-
maybe. But Nicholson was I don't know, man. He was just perfect. But yeah, they get into the
Counselor.
they get into the Hellcat and they're gone.
De Niro's
Yeah.
good for those kind of obsessive
Yeah,
fanatics.
yeah.
Like the
He's
Fan, the Cape Fear. He's really good at those roles.
Holiday. And I like how he's just so incoherent here. He's like, "Ugh."
He's drunk on that fake ghost booze.
That's
you
what it
know?
is, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Grady gave him the good shit. Yeah. And they take off. They're gone. And he's losing it at this point. He's like, I can't. He's getting tired. It's fucking freezing out. And then there you go.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
dead.
lost in the maze. You know?
The classic last scene of the movie. And you're like, oh my God, man. That is
Jump
fucking
cut.
creepy. Yeah. Boom. And it's just, abruptly, like right onto that
Dead.
scene. You're like,
Mhm.
oh man. And then you get the ending, which
Very strange ending. Yeah.
the very weird
This
ending
creeped
where
me out.
it was weird because then you're like, why are they focusing so much on? And then you get to like, what is it, 1921 photo?
Yeah.
And then there he is.
It's the black monolith from 2001. It's like the something to talk about after the
Yeah.
movie. You know what the
'Cause they-
hell
'cause-
is that about?
So then again, when you rewatch it, you're like, oh, so in the beginning he was saying he felt like he was here before. He knew every
been the
yeah.
caretaker, Mr.
And then it's like,
Torrance.
oh, so was he, a reincarnated version of it's like, dude, it's fucking wild how they just end on this. Like, even when he's happy, he's fucking creepy.
Yeah, I kind of felt
Yeah.
like the place finally consumed him, so now he's just forever.
He's
Yeah,
part
that's,
of it.
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking too. I was thinking that like maybe in the picture it's all the people that had been consumed by the Overlook Hotel, and so
Right.
he's just been joined to the roster. You know?
They got him finally.
Yeah.
And they even talk about the hotel in the year 1921.
It's like
ball.
the hotel
July 4th.
basically eats your soul. So
July
that's
4th
like
is
the
more
only
Native
remnant.
American stuff. Independence Day.
There you go. And there you go. That,
1921 would have been prohibition, so it would have been illegal to transport or sell alcohol. So you would have to kind of like how dry counties do nowadays. You'd probably have to have like some kind of membership, which could be why the bartender tells him like your money's no good here, credit's fine, because like you'd have to be like on some kind of membership plan to drink in those
Yeah.
days.
yeah, back then.
Country
Yeah.
clubs and such.
So yeah, that's our that's The Shining. Again, I watched this movie again this weekend for the first. It's been so long, like I mean years, and I don't know. We'll get into the whole rating thing and what we think of it. We'll do the trivia, of course, and then get into that. But I don't know, man. I can see where some people were like, yeah, this is really just a slow burn. Nothing happens, but it's like Stupendous and Jason. It's like there's so many little things that you literally, yes, you could break this movie down for hours just going through the little tiny details. It's just that interesting. But again, to the trivia, and since Vex isn't here, we're gonna do Whitey. We're gonna do the Vex trivia montage scene. So this is the statement that Vex made about the trivia. So again, this is from Vex. She goes, "This is a message from Vex. I wish I could have made this one, but enjoy this trivia. Also, Kubrick's film is far better than the novel, and Stephen King is a straight up fucking bitch." Everybody,
I don't disagree. I'll
I
put it
love
that
her
way.
so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where I spared you the box office stuff on Inspired. Sorry about that again. Sorry about that. The box office domestic total for this was $45 million.
Okay.
International only made 1.6 million.
Damn.
So worldwide, it made 47,234,000. So it did nothing in the international market. Nothing. 96% of this of the money that came in was all domestic.
I mean,
so
maybe they just didn't have the numbers actually, like
Possibly.
specifically.
Possibly back then. Who knows?
1980 with
1980.
Yeah,
So
1980.
it debuted at number 3 and released the same day as The Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
So it had no shot.
Yeah.
It had no shot.
Also, it was kind of panned originally, and people kind of got
Yes.
cult classic following after the fact.
Yeah, later on. Yeah, big time. So trivia for The Shining. Here we go. So because Danny Lloyd was so young, and since it was his first acting job, Stanley Kubrick was highly protective of the child. During the shooting of the movie, Lloyd was under the impression that the film he was making was a drama, not a horror movie. Well, he was wrong. In fact, when Wendy carries Danny away while shouting at Jack in the Colorado lounge, she is actually carrying a life-size dummy. So Lloyd would not have to be in the scene. Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
Also,
that
it's
wasn't
heavy
even-
to carry a child. You know,
Yeah, I was going to say.
take
the only-
137, Shelley.
Take the kid. Stay away. He only
80
realized the
pounds.
truth several years later when he was shown a heavily edited version of the film. He did not see the uncut version of the film until he was 17, 11 years after it was made. That's interesting.
Does he still
There's
act?
11 again. More Apollo
No.
11.
No, he's a teacher now.
He's a teacher,
Oh.
yeah. Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall have expressed open resentment against the reception of the film, feeling that critics and audiences credited Stanley Kubrick solely for the film's success without considering the efforts of the actors and crew and the strength of Stephen King's underlying material. Interesting. Nicholson and Duvall have said that the film was one of the hardest they've ever made in their careers. In fact, Nicholson considers Duvall's performance the most difficult role he's ever seen an actress take on. And she said it was the hardest of her life. I can kind of tell. According to Shelley Duvall, the famous "Here's Johnny" scene took 3 days to film and the use of 60 doors.
Damn.
So there you go.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
His arms
Yeah.
must have been burning.
Fucking
after each
exhausted.
day.
Yeah.
To be all big and buff after that. Despite Stanley
Oh,
Kubrick's
dude.
fierce demands on everyone, Jack Nicholson admitted to having a good working relationship with him, and it was with Shelley Duvall that he was a completely different director. He allegedly picked on her more than anyone, as seen in the documentaries made about the movie. He would really lose his temper with her, even going so far as to say she probably was she was wasting the time of everyone on set.
Jesus.
She later reflected that he probably was pushing her to her limits to get the best performance out of her, which makes sense. She lost her hair making this movie. She was exhausted, suffering from exhaustion throughout, and lost
Stressed
her
out.
hair. Yeah,
She also got a hunk of hair ripped out from trying to crawl out of that window.
right, but she could have made.
And you can hear Stanley Kubrick tell her, like, you know, we're all going to be disappointed in you or whatever on the making of feature that his daughter made.
Right. Let's see. At the time of the release, it was the policy of the MPAA to not allow the portrayal of blood in the trailers that would be approved for all audiences. So in 1980, the concept of green band and red band trailers were being introduced. Bizarrely, the trailer consists entirely of the shot of blood pouring out of the elevator. So Kubrick had convinced the board that the blood flooding out of the elevator was actually rusty water. So that's why it was edited. The water also had red dye on it. So that's smart, man. That's a smart man. All the interior rooms of the Overlook Hotel were filmed at Elstree Studios in England, including the Colorado Lounge, where Jack was typing. Because of the intense heat generated from the lighting used to recreate the window sunlight, the room took 700,000 watts of light per window to make it look like a snowy. Jesus, it's caught, and the lounge set caught fire. Well, there you go. That's a lot of wattage. Fortunately, all the scenes had been completed there, so the set was rebuilt with a higher ceiling, and the same area was eventually used by Steven Spielberg in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Interesting.
Oh yeah, 81. That would have been.
Yep. The snowy maze near the conclusion of the movie consisted of 900 tons of salt and crushed styrofoam. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking salt, man.
Crushed styrofoam and
Stephen King-
Jesus.
Yeah, right. Stephen King was approached by Stanley Kubrick about the making of the movie via early morning phone call, and England is 5 hours ahead of Maine in the time zones. King suffering from a hangover. Let's see. What did he say? It's at first thinking one of his kids was injured, was shocked when his wife told him Kubrick was on the phone. King recalled the first thing Kubrick did was to immediately start talking about how optimistic the ghost stories are, and because they were suggesting the humans survive death. What about hell? King asked. Kubrick passed for several moments before replying, I don't believe in hell. King replied, stating that there are people who believe in hell and that they fear it more than death itself. This was tremendously effective in helping Kubrick understand the feel of the story. That's a fucking weird way to... Can you imagine that conversation? Waking up to, hey, you believe in hell?
Jesus.
Fuck.
Yep.
Like, let me wake up, man. Stephen King has never understood why people find the movie so scary. And in parentheses, she goes, that fucking hack. Much like the casting of the character Jack, Stephen King also disliked the casting of Shelley Duvall as Wendy. We talked about that. King was thought he envisioned Wendy as being a blonde former cheerleader type who had never had to deal with any true problems in her life, making her experience in the Overlook all the more terrifying. He felt that Duvall was too emotionally vulnerable and appeared to have gone through a lot in her life. Basically the exact opposite of how he pictured the character. I get that, but I think it also added a lot to the character in the movie.
Yeah, it works much better in context of the film than it does in the book, you know. So I think that she's a great choice.
Yeah, she did good. The color red is visible either overtly or subtly in nearly every shot of the film. This is presumably because Colorado was so named because it is another Spanish word for red. Didn't know
Colorado.
Colorado.
Well, it's funny because like we were talking about The Thing on Blue Collar Losers channel the other day, and we are talking about how that whole movie is like gray and brown and these muted colors, and then that's why when the red blood shows up subtly, eventually it sticks out so hard because there's hardly any red in the movie.
Yeah, it's like crescendo of scenery, really.
Love it.
The story was eventually readapted into a 1997 miniseries that follows Stephen King's book more closely. It was trash because of King's dissatisfaction with Kubrick's adaptation. However, Kubrick owned the rights to the 1980 adaptation. So in order for King to get the right to readapt it, Kubrick required that he sign a legally binding contract that forced King to no longer to be able to bring up frequent public criticism of the Kubrick's film. Save for the sole commentary that he was disappointed of Jack Nicholson's portrayal of so that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, can we? I want to talk about like just how much better the movie is, because like I think it's really just an inferiority complex that Stephen King has, because he doesn't like the movie because he's not this book. And then the insult to injury that he has to beg for the rights to remake his own book into a miniseries.
Yeah.
And he does teleplay. He has total control over the teleplay. They make it totally faithful, and it's renowned as a piece of shit. And it's like at some point you have to put your hat in your hand and just be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe Kubrick did do something magical that could be replicated.
And it even says here the miniseries was critically panned. Nobody really liked it. They thought it was crap.
And I mean, it's also when you're trying to translate a story through different mediums. There's a lot of stuff that you can change, especially if you're gonna do a massive book into like just a singular movie. So they are good changes that were made. Like Stephen King is just like little dick energy, man. That's
it's like the thing with the hedge monster. If you see hedge monsters, it's like it wouldn't fit. Yeah.
Well, Stephen King's a hypocritical, narcissistic douchebag. I just can't stand that guy. Everything he says, it's just like, shut up. Like,
all the stuff he's been saying on Twitter lately has just been like, oh, okay. So it's like we were talking about the creator beforehand. It's like, okay, it's good for the times. It's overall mid. Yeah. Stephen King, great for the 80s, overall mid. Like, you know,
that's very true.
Making horror genre popular again. Props to him for that. And I love Creepshow. Love it.
Right. Outtakes of the shots of the Volkswagen Beetle traveling towards the Overlook Hotel at the start of the film were later used by Ridley Scott when he was forced by Warner Brothers to add a happy ending to the original release of Blade Runner. Stanley Kubrick, who was a fan of Scott's previous film Alien, happily gifted the footage under the condition that only shots were used that haven't been used in The Shining. So there was no problem with that. Okay,
It's like a whole truck full of fucking celluloid. This is all the stuff we didn't use for the movie.
Yeah, use it. Here you go.
Barrels and barrels.
And here's some
rolls.
salt. You can have some salt with
styrofoam. Let's see. In 1921. Okay, the 1921 photograph at the end of the film was a genuine 1920s photo with Jack Nicholson's head airbrushed onto the body of another man.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick originally planned to use extras to shoot the photo himself, but he realized he could make it look make it look any better than the real thing. Makes sense. According to Variety magazine, the film took almost 200 days to shoot. However, according to assistant editor Gordon Stainforth, it took much more, nearly a year in length. That's a long time. God damn. The film was originally supposed to take 17 weeks, but it ultimately took 51 because the film ran so long. Reds in 1981 and Raiders of the Lost Ark 1981 were delayed as they were waiting to shoot in Elstree Studios. Wow, so it delayed 2 fucking big movies. Wow. It's a long time. It's a big difference between 17 weeks and 51. That's a fucking, that's a bigger.
Flying back and forth like that would.
Yeah. That's a bitch.
They wonder why these movies are so expensive, you know?
No shit.
Fuck, dude.
Wow.
Despite receiving generally unfavorable reviews upon its initial release, the film is now regarded as one of the best horror movies ever made. In 2001, it was ranked 29th on AFI's 100 Years, 100 Thrills list. In 2003, Jack Torrance was named the 25th greatest villain on the AFI's 100 Years, 100 Heroes and Villains list. Wow.
That upsets Stephen King, I bet.
Yeah. The film was named the scariest film of all time by Channel 4 in 2003, and Total Film had it as the fifth greatest horror film in 2004. Bravo TV placed it 6th on the list of 100 the best of 100 scariest movies. That's fucking wild. Wow.
Yeah, it's actually pretty high for horror.
Yeah.
I'd say during the most modern version of The Shining would probably be Hereditary, you know?
Yeah, I actually like Hereditary.
Just like Hereditary, like you feel like you're being tricked into summoning something evil by watching this movie.
Yeah. During this grueling shoot, the Wimbledon tennis tournament was in full swing in the UK, and Jack Nicholson and avid tennis fans had to find a way to take time out to attend. So that he feigned back pain and asked for a few days off. So he faked pain, just asked for a few days off so he can go watch Wimbledon. Because of his star status, Stanley Kubrick granted him the break. Unfortunately for Jack, Kubrick later saw him on a production TV set, seated in the Wimbledon crowd and flanked by 2 women. Kubrick was apparently furious. And so he's getting laid. And
George Costanza. George Costanza. He got caught at those. Yeah, everyone saw you on TV.
You had it right it was right up
all over your face.
Oh my god. Stanley Kubrick also made casting decisions for dubbing actors in other countries. In Spain, actor and actress Joaquin Hinojosa and Veronica Fork, I don't know how to say these fucking names, did the voices of Jack and Wendy Torrance respectively. So they dubbed it for those, obviously. And let's see. In Spain, this dubbing is considered one of the worst dubbings ever made due to the casting choice. And then we get to the conspiracies. Conspiracy theorists point to several symbols in the film as evidence that Stanley Kubrick was involved in the faking of the footage of the moon landing. There are several symbols of 11 throughout the film. The pattern of the hotel carpet in which Danny is playing in his Apollo 11 sweater is the exact shape of the lunar launch pad. The pages of Jack's novel reads, "All work and no play make Jack a dull boy." The all could be interpreted as an A11 or Apollo 11. The large Native American wall tapestry against which Jack is throwing the ball resemble rockets. The Apollo 11 vehicle that landed on the moon was called the Eagle. Jack's typewriter is an alder, which is the German word for eagle. Jesus Christ, they're going deep at this. There are several wooden eagles in the hotel manager's office. The manager has a U.S. flag on his desk and is wearing red, white, and blue colors. Some interpret this to mean that he represents the government with whom Jack has entered into a contract. It's fucking crazy, dude. However, the conspiracy theory comes from the later French mockumentary Operation Loon in 2002. Hey. Yeah, fucking French, where diverse celebs, actors mixed with real-life politicians, NASA former staff, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's basically just a spoof, basically. In the ending credits, it is revealed the joke when all the cast bombed the plot. Oh, that was in the fucking... What is with you French people, dude? Why do you guys do this shit to us? Let me see here. This is the first film of Stanley Kubrick's to include the use of Steadicam. He found the current cameras on the set to be almost obsolete for the type of shots he wanted to achieve during the film. He wanted a free and full range of view, but he wanted the shots to be smooth and precise. Well, he got that. When a colleague suggested that he use a newly developed piece of technology, Kubrick was hesitant, but then he ended up using the Steadicam for many days before filming just to test it. And it worked. Yeah. So when he's riding his tricycles, when he's riding his tricycle through the hotel, that's where they used it the most.
Steadicam was like one of those game-changing technologies. And then also, like, you think of like Panic Room, that was like one of those, even more so, like a camera that can go through walls.
Oh yeah, that, like
total
a CGI
control
camera.
over the house.
Yeah,
that was like the next step from The Shining.
Imagine trying to put rails all in that place.
Yeah, that's the idea with The Shining. Like having to do rails and stuff is so expensive and slows everything down.
Yeah.
It's like,
so we're getting close to the end of the trivia. Over the years, Stephen King has made his dissatisfaction with Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of his novel The Shining quite clear. He said Wendy is one of the most misogynist characters, but he's a fucking asshole, put on film, and described a director's film of being very cold. Time appears to...
It's penis envy. It's penis envy with Stephen King.
He's talking about cream pies in the fucking book, but he's talking about this is cold. Get the fuck out of here. Time appears to not have changed his opinion in the feelings he shares in the new chat with Deadline, conducted a few years ago, but only published now. I think The Shining is a beautiful film, and it looks terrific. Like I've said before, it's like a big, beautiful Cadillac with no engine inside. In that sense, when it opened, a lot of the reviews weren't favorable, and I was one of those reviewers. I kept my mouth shut at the time, but I didn't care for it much. But I cream pie people. In a recent interview, King said that although there were bad feelings and a lot of bitterness and rivalry associated with the relationship with Kubrick, he did have a twinge of satisfaction in knowing he outlived Kubrick. Okay, bro.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
He's such a douche.
We don't. We wish it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Still alive.
And here we get to the casting stuff you were talking. Nicholson recommended Jessica Lange for Wendy after reading the novel, but Kubrick shot that down quickly, wanting to go for a more timid interpretation of character, thus casting Shelley Duvall. That would have been interesting with Jessica Lange, but
it doesn't make a difference because, like, Jack is in no way physically intimate with Wendy in any time in the movie.
Exactly. So it doesn't make any
enforcing
sense.
the teddy bear theory.
There you go. Here we go. Stanley Kubrick considered Robert De Niro and Robin Williams for the role of Jack Torrance, but decided against them. Kubrick did not think De Niro would suit the role after watching his performance in Taxi Driver, and he deemed De Niro not psychotic enough for the role. He did not think Williams would suit the role after watching his performance in Mork and Mindy, as he deemed him just too psychotic for the role.
Right, but I said that earlier, but I would think it's like you would think reversed. You would think, because Taxi Driver, John De Niro's just as crazy as you need.
He played a good, not job, but I guess I don't know.
Robin Williams he's got too much of a warm family. He just like you want to love him, I don't think it would fit that role very much.
Yeah, he doesn't have the proper menacing face that you need to just make him inherently to inherently hate him just from the get-go, without seeing anything.
De Niro maybe. I mean, they casted it perfectly. Nobody was better.
De Niro excels better as an actor who uses his eyes.
Yes. Yes. Let's see here. Where was it? More. Okay, so Chevy Chase, Martin Sheen, Leslie Nielsen, Christopher Reeve were considered for the role. Like Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor.
Would be good.
I mean, that's the thing. Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor before.
He was a serious actor. Yeah.
All the stuff. So it
not for that role. Not for that.
Could you imagine being chased down in a hedge maze by Robin Williams?
Oh yeah,
Danny.
Nielsen's got that deep voice.
Where are you, Daddy? Daddy. Frank Drebin. Stanley. Yeah, I'm gonna chase you a little bit. I'm gonna chase you. That'll be De Niro. A little bit.
I'm gonna chase you. I'll bash your fucking brains in.
I'm just gonna bash your brains in. All right.
A little bit. Stanley Kubrick originally wanted Slim Pickens to play the part of Halloran, but Pickens wanted nothing to do with Kubrick following his experience working with him on Doctor Strange.
Hell no, I ain't doing no more 137 fucking 45 takes. No.
Doctor Strangelove was so fucking good. Let's see. Stephen King tried to talk Stanley Kubrick out of casting Jack Nicholson in the lead, suggesting instead either Michael Moriarty or John Voight. King had
Voight.
Yeah, King had felt that watching either of these normal-looking men gradually descend into madness would have immensely improved the dramatic thrust of the storyline. And that is the end of trivia. Thank you, Vex. That was beautiful.
Thanks for the trivia, Vex.
All your hard work. She's not even fucking. She's in Florida somewhere playing with alligators or some shit. I don't know.
Getting her freak on. Getting her freak on right now.
Maybe. So yeah, there you go. Interesting trivia. Yeah, the casting would have been interesting. They picked the perfect person, but I don't know. Would you say
if they remade it today, who would be your like top casting?
Well, you're trying to remake the King version, or are you trying to do what Kubrick?
Yeah, are we doing
a
Kubrick?
No, they're trying to do like a The Shining remake, the Kubrick one.
I mean, if I could do it, I mean, I would like, shit, have Bateman. I don't care. Someone like Bateman. I mean, he did good in American Psycho.
Christian Bale?
Yeah. Christian Bale.
Are you talking Jason Bateman or are you talking
Patrick Bateman? Or Jason Bateman would be good too.
I was like, Jason Bateman. What?
Jason Bateman never gets to do enough range, so maybe Jason Bateman would be a good like.
Yeah, Jason Bateman does have range with Ozark, so
he does, but
not that role.
Jason Bateman.
Not that role.
I'm trying to think of like a current actor that's
Willem Dafoe. That's it.
He's too old now.
He's too old now.
Believe it or not, he's like 60 years old.
Walking Phoenix could probably pull it off.
It's a problem.
Anthony Starr.
They probably used the same guy from Pennywise or something if they had a choice, you know.
I mean, Anthony
Starr does do like the crazy look. Yeah. Maybe.
In
maybe.
Cobweb,
that's Homelander, right?
In Cobweb, he played the dad. That was like.
So who played?
Oh my God, he was.
Yeah. Who plays Shelley Duvall though? Who plays Shelley Duvall's role? Like, who do you get?
Shit.
Well, Rebecca De Mornay, like I said, that was like one of the few upgrades of the teleplay version. Like Rebecca De Mornay was looking pretty damn good
She
for her
was
age.
attractive back then.
But
Michael
yeah,
Shannon is Jack Torrance. There you go.
Today they'd probably make
have Brie Larson
Jenna
do it, and then
Ortega.
we can like run her through the ringer and have her get like fucking terrorized on set.
There you go.
Because we know Brie Larson can act, you know, with Room and other movies.
Yeah, she does look like a toothpick. So yeah, that would be.
She does. That's
J-Law.
I don't know. That's a tough
Jennifer
one.
Lawrence, I don't know.
Watch it, Stovepipe. Watch it.
For me, I'd say like Jenna Ortega.
I was gonna say
there you
that.
go.
I was gonna say Jenna Ortega, but
Because she has that face too, you know.
Yeah,
she's like 4. She's like 4 feet tall though.
Yeah, but still,
size doesn't matter.
Camera tricks, they can make it work.
That's what she said.
Wow, not to you though.
I could see Jenna Ortega do that. That's
you know what? I agree with this, Gord King. Yes, Brie Larson would be the one axing people.
Yeah. There you go. That's the plot switch. The plot twist is the mother goes crazy with Cabin
The
Fever.
misogynist male gets axed.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Well, she's the first. Well, she is the first female actress ever. So
she was like my first like actress crush when I was a preteen.
Same, dude,
Jennifer Love Huge Tits, as they called her.
Jennifer Love Hewitt,
in
man,
Scream.
she was great.
Peter Dinklage is dead. He's the top. He is the top. Yeah, he's a toxic Avenger. So
yeah,
that trailer was wild. Did you see that trailer?
I don't know. I'm excited about it.
I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
You got Ving Rhames as as the Scatman.
Yeah, I love the. There you go.
Hey, sucker.
Oh, nothing. I'll take a blowtorch and a lead pipe.
He just shows up and beats the fuck out of Jack Torrance. You know, have like your,
it's
like
tough because
in the face.
I can't really think of anybody else current. Like I'm bad at. Well, there's only 3 people really in the main character.
Morgan Freeman. As Dick.
Oh yeah, no, he'd just be doing voiceovers the whole time.
Yeah.
I walked through the hotel and it was so big and vast.
It was very brisk.
It was beautiful.
Morgan Freeman's too old, man. The idea that he's like the head cook at a hotel, he's 80-something years old, man. Like
Andy Dufresne was buried.
All of our
in that
favorite
news.
artists are getting aged out or dying. Denzel. There you go.
Oh yeah, he could do
Yeah.
anything, pretty much, right? Yeah, I could see Denzel doing
My
that.
snowplow.
Danny shines in Morgan Freeman's voice. Oh yeah, instead of Tony, it's Morgan Freeman's voice. Hello, my name's Tony. Tony sees things in room 237.
Danny isn't here, Mrs. Torrance.
I drove
Danny.
Miss Daisy. Oh God,
I
can
didn't
see
think
that.
much of Danny when I first saw him. Like, he's like talking to us.
Found a room full of dried goods and corn.
Does Danny know what the gooch is?
Yeah. My name is
Daddy
Tony.
touched me down there.
For,
Yeah.
for
Daddy touched me
Wendy,
down
you
there.
could do like Taylor Swift could play Wendy.
Why?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, she's already had like roles.
Dude, I tell you right now, if they were remaking The Shining, there'd be so much like, backlash. And if they were like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
starring
Oh, God, yeah.
Taylor Swift as Wendy Torrance, you'd be like,
What does she have a
I'll check
concert in
that
the
out.
middle? So instead of the ballroom, she'll be singing.
Dude, the Swifties
Shake
would
it up.
come to her
Shake it
defense.
up.
Yeah, every
Swifties.
showing of every movie is like sold out because it's like the same like 100 people just going 10 times in a row.
Morgan Freeman voice. Danny had his finger where it should not have been. All right, so we'll do the rankings. We'll start with our new guest, Depenzo. So I don't know how you do rankings. You can do out of 5, you do out of 10, however you want. But where would you rank this movie in the scale? Whatever scale
Well,
you
like
want to use.
I mean, like I said, dude, like when I talk about like my favorite horror movies of all time, it's easily top 5, might be top 3. When I talk about favorite movies of all time, it's definitely in my top 20,
Wow.
maybe my top 10. I mean, I love it.
Wow.
It's one of those movies like The Exorcist. It just gets scarier every time you watch it. And if you're not, it's like The Big Lebowski. Like you see it, you're like, okay, that's pretty funny. But like the more you watch it, the more you understand why it's funny because of all the inside humor between the characters. And like The Shining and The Exorcist are kind of the same thing where it's like, it's not that scary when you're a kid. But when you watch it as an adult and when you kind of try to soak in the gravity of the situation and really dig into the subtext of what might be happening behind the camera and between the pages, between the lines, it's a freaky fucking movie, dude. And if it's not scary, I suggest you turn your volume up and your lights off, and that movie will eventually break to you. Because I think I was like around Uninspired's point of view when I first saw it when I was in middle school. And I was like, this movie's not that scary. And I was like, by the time I was like graduating high school, I was like, this movie's very scary.
Yeah.
Grows
You're looking
on
deeper
you.
into it. Yeah, definitely.
Grows on you like a tumor. Like,
Do you have a scoring system for it?
I mean, if I had out of 5 stars, easily 3.5, 4 stars.
Okay, that's fair.
If not, yeah, it's up there.
I liked it. I like it. Mr. Gucci Hole. What about you, buddy?
Yeah,
there you go. White Bear's got it.
There it is.
I'm staring into the eye. Oh my
Right to
God.
your gooch.
Yeah, I think because of the time and everything, I could see why people now, because everyone's like into the jump scares, everyone's into the gore, everything's fast paced with these horror movies, and I think when you actually sit down, if you're in your house alone and you turn off all the lights and you watch that movie, I think you're going to shit your pants.
Yeah.
For me, I would give it an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9, because it's just so intense. The psychological aspects of it is so deep. The character depth is great. It just lets your mind wander of what the possibilities could be throughout the whole film. So, yeah, I'd easy 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. Fair enough. I can't wait for this response. Uninspired. What do you give this movie, sir?
I mean, I honestly give it a 6 to 7 out of 10.
That's a fair score.
Maybe 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, that's
fair.
bad.
That's not.
But
No,
yeah.
I mean, I thought the way you were talking before, that was going to get like a 3 or something. You were
If
like,
our
no,
argument
no.
helped you bust it up a half a star or a star, then I'm happy. You know, if I can help you persuade
fair.
to like realize this movie's a lot better than it actually seems.
Yeah,
then I'm
that's why I
happy.
was. That's why I was like, it's between a 6 and a 7 because there's like a bit of stuff that I didn't catch on that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the fact that you have to dig in so much to try and
Takes away
understand
from
that
it.
it does take away. You know, it's kind of like the situation that Nope had. You know, the new Jordan Peele movie. It's where it was too much on themes and not enough on characters and what a movie is supposed to do to entertain.
Trying to be
you.
too cute. Yeah, like too.
Yeah, exactly.
too
It's like
deep,
it doesn't manage to balance things out to make a proper film, you know?
You really emphasized that word really strong there. I was impressed.
Film with 5 F's.
Filma. No, the six. See, this is the thing. We were just talking about this over the weekend with people. I was like, some family and friends, like sixes, sevens. Like that's not a bad score. People associate the scoring system's been so fucked because of Rotten Tomatoes and all the. Like a 6.5 is a pretty fair. That means the movie's good enough to watch, and it's not terrible. So that's a fair. I think it's more than enough of a fair. White Bear, the Gooch man, the Gooch shower there with the photo. What do you think about? Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh fuck. You're gonna make me Kubrick.
For me, it was one of those movies. It was kind of like when I was younger. I was like, it's not scary in the movies I grew up with, which was at the time, the Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers movies. Back in the 80s and 90s and all that. So I was just like, this is a slow burn. Even back then I was like, I'm waiting for it to get really scary. And I don't really see how scary it is other than, the whole place looks scary to me. Like I know that I'd be creeped out there, but as you get in your 30s and you come back and watch this, you're like, holy crap, that would be pretty scary and awful. And now, my big thing about it is, when you're a kid, you don't realize all the stuff that's planted in the film to be be the way that it is. Like Stupenza was pointing out.
Well, yeah. Stupenza
There's so many things that you can find into this movie that are Kubrickisms, and I hate them. I hate them. I am not a Kubrick, fan. I am not. It's just not my type of movie. It's like every time I get done with a Kubrick movie, I want to go wash off and go watch some old Disney or something like that.
Gooch off you.
Get that gooch off me. But
gooch.
You remember our Eyes Wide Shut review and all that.
I know you. Yeah, you weren't a fan.
There is layers upon layers upon layers of depth. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Appreciate that, even though I'm not, I don't wake up any day going like, man, I need to watch The Shining.
Watch 2001: Space Odyssey, buddy. There's a lot of layers in that movie.
Yeah, well, so I'm not the biggest fan, but no matter what, you have to respect it for how it was shot, how it was presented. I think that the score and how they used the music. I think the acting was great. So I'm still going to give it a 7, even though I don't like it. It's got to be at least a 7. It is a classic.
Yeah, I agree.
It's supposed to fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Job accomplished.
I get the whole idea of. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, Jay. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, and sorry, I was just gonna say. So I know Kubrick is like his films are very
vague,
abstract. I want to say, considering the time. But Full Metal Jacket, he comes around and literally grabs you by the balls with that movie.
That's probably his most mainstream movie.
See, I will say,
and also very vague, also very metaphorical movie. Super deep as well.
I like the first half of that movie much more than the second half.
The second half has grown on me. I've realized as I got older, I like the second half.
I haven't watched it in a while,
crazy.
So maybe
the second half grows on you, just like The Shining does.
Okay.
Well, I'm just curious what Whitey thinks of that because I know it's a Kubrick film. And I'm just kind of curious what you think of that movie.
Like Stupenza said, it's like that is probably the most mainstream, and it's also the first Kubrick movie that I saw when I was a kid and all that. So, but it's kind of like that when I was a kid. I didn't appreciate the second half of the film.
Yeah,
because the beginning, the first part of the film was so shocking to me. I was like, "Oh, this is a crazy movie." That's cool.
Yeah.
But I found myself falling asleep or just getting bored and doing something else for the second part. As an adult, though, later I could appreciate the second part for what it was, and also the alternative endings and stuff, stuff like that, stuff that was either taken out. But I can appreciate it, but it's I'd rather be watching a lot of other things.
Yeah,
it's unique. It's So for me, it's been a while since I've seen this. I remember, I kind of like you said, Whitey. Like I grew up in just a different. This was obviously before my time. I was born in '79, so I grew up with, like you said, the Freddys, the Jasons, and stuff. But my parents and family liked this movie, so I grew up. As I was growing up, they were watching this, and I'd say I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. I think little things like what Stupenzo was bringing up that you just don't catch, I think do add to the film, because when you do go rewatch it, it adds more value.
Yeah, it has its merits.
These little
This
things.
recent
You're like,
time I watched it was when I noticed all the music stuff, like how
Yeah.
syncopated it is. I didn't really notice how
Exactly.
syncopated it is.
Yeah, and it was shot beautifully. Again, Kubrick. It was, you know, I think he's brilliant. So I say 7 out of 10. It's a movie I definitely could. Some people think it's a hard rewatch. It doesn't have rewatchability. I think it does. I think it does a good job of building up character development. There's some things, some nitpicky things that were, I think were wrong. Overall, though, it's a good movie. It's especially this time of year. It's just a good movie to leave on. And my kid watched the whole movie with me. She's a 15-year-old girl. She liked it.
Wow.
She said it's a little, for her, it was a little slow, but it's still, now The Exorcist is one of her favorite movies. So that's next week. And that, I have a problem with demonic, like, possession movie. They scare the shit out of me. So I am like, I'll get through that movie. It'll be fun.
I do like The Exorcist a lot more than The Shining.
So well, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot more happening.
That one freaked me out so bad as a kid.
Yeah,
like,
it's
that one
scarier literally scary every time you watch.
It's fucking nuts. So
I'm gonna dread rewatching that because it takes me back to a kid.
I don't want.
I do it every year, man.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. I do.
Another good horror movie I love that no one gets enough credit to is The Passion of the Christ. That movie's freaky.
That's
man.
a rough. That's a
my
rough one.
Oh my god,
that's a rough one.
You lost me on that one.
The devil's in the first scene of the movie. You're like,
right.
This is going to be insane. Okay, never mind.
Well, they're making a sequel, so you can look forward to that soon.
Cool. Mel Gibson.
But
you go ahead, Jay. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry. With you mentioning the dad molesting the child, it just puts a whole different spin on that movie for me. Because like now, it's
I remember
just,
when
like,
I first heard it, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
dude?
That literally blew my mind. I'm like, oh damn, because like, I'm part indigenous. I'm part indigenous, so like a lot of the indigenous stuff about this movie is just like, okay,
is that what's wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But I mean, but like because I work with at-risk youth, and when when I'm watching this movie, because I'm trying to I watched it today. I'm like, what is going on with because the relationship between Jack and Danny was just
weird.
It was really off somehow, weird. And I was like, is it because he's The Shining, or like? Is it because he grabbed him? Like,
all right.
Is he still an alcoholic? And Danny knows, he sees him drinking still. Like there's so many things in your mind that you're asking, and then when you added that piece, I'm like, oh, there it is. Like that was that blew my mind. I was like,
it could also be like Stanley Kubrick signaling to Stephen King, like, I know about you and what you're actually doing. That's why I'm putting it in this
probably.
movie. Typewriters is another metaphor for that kind of weird shit.
I could see that. Yeah, I can see that. It's
Tom Hanks has Corona typewriters.
Yeah, these little things, man. These little tiny things. But again, and then Dr. Sleep came out. God, what? How long ago was that now?
I enjoyed watching it.
20.
It was okay.
I hated it.
Oh,
I like all kinds of movies,
Dr.
but
Sleep.
I like watching it.
Me too.
I'd rather rewatch Dr. Sleep than The Shining.
Oh,
wow.
I don't like the name.
I like Dr. Sleep. Like I said, it
wasn't bad. I just don't like the name.
I'm recruiting mutants to fight these vampires.
The Shining was slow, but Dr. Sleep isn't slow. Man,
man, Dr. Sleep isn't slow at all.
Dr. Sleep was like a fan service, wet dream for horror, and also it kind of reminded me of a Ready Player One with the whole Shining callback scene that was very strange.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's where the book is way better than the movie Ready Player One.
Yeah, it's cool to see, but it's just strange to digitally recreate this elevator scene with all these like computer characters inside of it.
Weird, right?
Flooded out. Strange. And as a kid, if I was a kid watching Ready Player One and I'd never seen The Shining, I'd be like, what the hell's going on?
What is going on?
Yeah, you'd still be scared.
I hate that movie.
There's a lot of unique stuff. But again, this is why we have these shows and conversations. You get different points of view, even if they're French and wrong.
I'm so happy you guys had me on here. I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude. It's been great. I'm glad that, because all these little things I wouldn't have caught. Yeah, there you go.
I know Vex gave me like a huge list of all these movies you guys were doing, and I was like, I could talk about all these movies, but these two right here, I could talk about the most. I could talk about these.
Yeah, no, that's Hey, dude,
So-
I'm all for it. And
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me, man.
yeah, dude, it was a pleasure having you on. And since we're at that point, shout out what you got going on. What's going on with the channels, Depenzo?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm doing my Schlocktober stuff. I got let's see, I'll share my screen again. Me and what's it? I got Dark Hour. I got in this whole thing doing my show again because of hanging out with Dark Hour, and then I met Uninspired and Blue Collar Loser and Lord Toxic and Tyler Wolf and all these guys. So last September I basically recorded all these We Watch videos of these public domain horror movies. So I'm going to release one every day. I guess Trilogy of Terror releases in about a couple hours. I also might do an after party stream on my channel because I usually do my Dork Side streams on Mondays. Either early in the day or late at night. And so if you guys want to pop in on that, I'll send you guys a link. But we're probably just going to goof off, talk about Schlocktober kicking off, talk about the creator. But yeah, I do a live stream every Monday. I'll probably do it like either before or after your show. Try not to, because I, don't like to schedule everything out, not trying to step on anyone's toes.
No, I get it. I understand that.
But I, the idea of doing both in a day, Mondays are wide open for me, so
I understand.
it's always fun. But yeah, as far as like Schlocktober, these videos, We Watch videos, I got that coming, and trying to work on a Renfield analysis video. And
you've been working on the Renfield video for a while.
Well, no, I've just been putting it off, and now's the time to work for it.
This is the time.
All of October's on autopilot now, so I'm hoping that the Renfield video, will air around my birthday, the 25th. So,
awesome.
Be fun. So obviously, I got a soft spot for October, for Halloween, for horror movies.
Obviously,
yeah, October's the best month ever.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're a Halloween baby or a Christmas baby, I mean, I like Christmas. It's like one's always one first place, one's always second place.
We discussed that last week on the show. How the Halloween movie season's so much better than Christmas, because Christmas movies can be really cringy. But depending on what
the Lifetime, I love the Christmas Lifetime movies.
Yeah, my wife watches that with the Hallmark, and there's another channel she watches.
Oh,
they're so bad and predictable and fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They make you feel good though. That's one thing I will give that. All right, Jay. No more fucking Gooch pictures, but
no.
What do you got coming up there, sir?
I watched The Creator on Saturday night. Ugh, that was a very rough go.
Mediocre.
At best. I watched Gran Turismo last night and loved that movie. That was good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see that.
I actually
watched
it
was a Neil Blomkamp
less than
movie.
a week ago. Yeah,
Was it really?
It is.
Was it really?
Yes.
What?
I'm like, what the fuck? I'll see it tomorrow.
Neil Blomkamp is the director.
Yeah, great movie. I really enjoyed that.
I'll have to check that out.
Great acting. I mean, there's some bits in there but I really enjoyed that.
Good.
I really enjoyed how they, had him on the track racing with the car. Anyway, I'll get off of that, but we can talk about it after in the back room. So tomorrow night I have Worthy Comics coming on. She has a new book out. She's going to be coming on for an hour. Still debating if I'm going to do a stream after this, because we have her Atlas of Sidonia campaign out. That's on Kickstarter now. We just launched it a few hours ago. This is the second kick of the cat. If you like manga and you like dark fantasy, this is the book for you. This is a really, really good story. It's really cool. This is something different. This is going to be not for kids, but that way. So it's I'm finishing up. I got about 9 pages to draw out, and then I'm done my part, and then John is just touching up on the dialogue, and we'll have it done and sent out very early spring. So check it out on Kickstarter. Actually, I could share it.
Yeah, share your.
But the Gooch picture is any indication
No,
of how good it is.
No.
Yeah.
So this is Corey Barton. He did an alternate cover.
Nice.
This is if you like dragons, like I said, dark fantasy. This is going to really have a lot in it. This is a double page splash that I've done.
Nice.
Yeah.
It looks
This
good.
is a couple of pages. I can show you a couple of. This is the first few pages in the book. So you get to learn about the gods, and then you learn about the world of Sidonia, and you get a good in-depth look at what's going on there, like darkness versus the light, your typical, good versus bad,
Right.
and how this is Lagotha down here, how he's developed and become the ultimate evil.
Nice.
So as you can see here. So, and Desolate Soul Studios, which is my channel. So yeah, go on Kickstarter, check it out. There's your options here. There's the wraparound cover here that I drew out with the General Kana, Masato Kana, with the dragon here. That's Orin. Then we have the black cover. That's Kadim, the dark side, if you want to call it. That's the black cover. And then we'll have another cover done by Corey's brother, Clayton. And we will have, you can buy all 3 covers. So, yeah, Atlas of Sidonia, check it out on the Kickstarter today. Get your copy. I greatly appreciate it.
Yep.
Also, tomorrow night I'll be going on Bone Bridger's channel after I'm done mine and watching the final episode of Ahsoka. And reviewing the whole, I know it's, oh god, it's so bad. They've really butchered Star Wars badly. It makes me sick to my stomach. So I'll be doing a review with Bone Bridger, John Onamates, and Tim, and that will be out on Wednesday or late Tuesday evening. Probably I'd say Wednesday, depending on how quick he can do it up. And then Wednesday, I can't remember. I'm full this week. I'm all over the place. I can't remember where I am, but I'm gonna be on a lot of streams coming up.
Sweet.
I'm back here next Monday doing The Exorcist. I'll be on Pete Smetty's next Friday.
Pizza Medi.
Pete Smetty.
Pizza Medi. I know. I'm gonna be trying to break in the Comics Gate thing myself. So I'd like to talk to you about you after this show, maybe, because it's
absolutely
cool
absolutely
stuff.
We'll talk. Yeah. I got a lot of streams happening. I'll be streaming. I'm sure I'll be having you guys on. It's great to actually meet Whitey and Cannoli, as always. It's good to leave my gooch scent in your
gooch
in
juice
premises.
all over the fucking thing. God damn it. Can't get the gooch.
Uninspired, as always. Always good talking to you, bro.
A pleasure, man. Likewise.
No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Uninspired.
I love
DJ.
you
And I put all their information's in the description, but Jay, I also put your Kickstarter
appreciate
link
that
in the description. So if people want to go into this channel stuff. Uninspired.
Yes, sir.
What is your stupid Halloween movie videos coming out, man?
Dude, waiting. Right now I have to do the Old Boy video. When the Old Boy video is done, I'm gonna do the zombie one.
Nice.
I added, I think, 3 titles to the list as like bonus entries, since I'm just doing a rehash of my original video. And then after that, the week before Halloween, I'm gonna have the top 10 horror movies, which is gonna be good. I've almost nailed down the list properly. So yeah, and then normally on the 31st, so the day of Halloween, is where I'm gonna have my Scream retrospective of Scream 1, 2, and 3 drop.
Fucking finally. God
So,
damn.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking for the old. I know Whitey's really looking forward to the Old Boy.
Oh yeah,
that's his favorite movie.
We're patiently waiting.
No, I'm waiting. No, I'm looking forward to all those. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. That's pretty much it for like the video stuff. And then in terms of live streams, I'm gonna be on Atom Gray and Barbara Lawrence's channel with Jay Goodwin. That's gonna be on Friday on the B-roll channel. So it's gonna be B-sides. So yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. We'll shout that out for you on the socials. Of course.
Jay.
What? God damn it, Jay. Fucking Christ.
I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that for him.
White Bear. What do you got coming up there, sir?
Well, on White Bear 2, we should have a video either tonight or tomorrow morning. Another meme video, because that hit well. So if you want slightly political memes and just funny memes in general, it'll be there on White Bear 2. Don't mind White Bear 1 or 3.
Yeah, we don't talk about those channels. Is that it? Okay, good. Looking forward to it. Those meme videos are fucking hilarious. So yes, we'll shout that out as well. And for me, that's really it. This is really it for the week. Got a light week because work is fucking insane. So not much else going on. If you want to catch my other better half on Sunday, Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch on Friday has the Truly Female Perspective back with Vex Electronica. Once a month. That's a spicy stream, man. You want to get two women with once a month? Get it? It's only once a month. That's a stream you don't want to miss because they get into some topics and they are very opinionated and unapologetic, and it's fucking great. And then Sunday she does the Sassy Sunday stream, which is fucking also taking off. And for me, it's pretty much it until next week. We will have the same panel basically. And I think Vex will be on for The Exorcist, which got
The Exorcist.
Damn it! I have to watch that movie with holy water and crosses and Jesus and.
Watch you like.
Hopefully we get Copa back
next to you.
Yeah, and we'll see what's going on with Copa if all's going well. But yeah, we'll have pretty much almost the whole crew back, and then next week for me is a busy one. Actually, I got the Monday stream. Next Wednesday, I am on the Zax's channel for What's Good Wednesday. Me and Sassy are both going on Zax's channel together.
Ooh,
nice.
And then I may or may not be on not this weekend, but the following Saturday, I might be on Hypnotics Saturday Night Hypnosis stream.
Nice.
So
nice.
yeah, I'm making the rounds that week. I'm busy, but yeah, man, this has been great. Of course, it's always great having you on, Jay. Uninspired, I fucking love you. And Stupenzo, man, it's been great having you on, dude. I hope that you got next week and hopefully more in the future, dude. You've been a great addition.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you guys can call me Enzo too. That's my name. You don't need to call me Stupenzo all the time.
How Italian of you?
Yeah, Vincenzo.
Vincenzo. Yeah, there's the Gooch picture.
Love it.
That's basically it. Like I said, all their information's in the description. We will be signing off. We love you all. Thank you to the chat. That's it. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.